Maybe. So let's see. We're broadcasting and get my backup audio going. And the channel is live. So hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels Rime of the Frostmaiden. Actually, it's not much wind now. You're underground.
Frostmaiden.
Yeah.
Who knows? There's an eldritch horror breathing somewhere.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Together, we're going to play Dungeons and Dragons with our players. Spence as Smaragd Nachtmere.
Hello.
Lee Burdett as Iggy.
Hey.
David Archambault as Wilfred Cole, currently 21 feet tall.
Careful, I don't want to step on any of you.
Jason Banks as Rowan Gregor.
What's going on, guys?
Paul Weimer as Aule.
Looks up at Wilfred. Salve, salve, salve.
And Nobilis as Arvik.
Now I know what the rest of you feel like.
So, I just realized I don't have the ambiance playing. Gotta fix that. But, last time, the Seekers had some more fun in the Caves of Hunger. But then, yes, but then they made their way through the icy tunnels and have reached the frozen, buried, ancient city of Yithrin. And you did some preliminary explorations. You found the temple, or the tower that you believe might be the Tower of Abjuration. And it contained a clue in it that you think might be one part of the puzzle which will bring down the force field that currently surrounds the central spire. That spire being where the Raven Queen has informed Mara she must go, because that is the dwelling place of her quarry, the Demi-Lich Eriolathus. I'm not sure I actually specified that he was a Demi-Lich before. Now I have.
Now we know.
I don't know this.
But the one clue that you have received so far to that puzzle is that you perhaps might require a wand made from the nether oak.
Healed your heart with the wand of nether oak.
Yes.
Please.
But
there is some trees over there.
Yes. So you also passed a strange amphitheater that looks like it might be some kind of a sports arena. But you hadn't done a whole lot of exploration just yet. And so before we get into the storytelling proper, I want to go over a little bit of how exploration of the city works. One thing that I didn't mention last time, but that you all notice as soon as you're walking on the city, is that even though when you were in the caves looking down at the city was obviously tilted, like a significant amount, like 15 degrees, like on a slant. But when you stepped onto the city, the gravity adjusted so that it feels level to you.
Oh, powerful.
That's a handy trick.
Yeah.
If you think it's a head trip down there, you should feel it up here.
It is not dark in here. There are magical continual flame spells of green and purple all over the place. So the cavern here and the city in general is well lit. And as you explore, there are a number of locations, and I will always let you know where they are, that are notable buildings, and those have specific things assigned to them. But obviously this is a city. There are more buildings than just those. And so for any of those buildings, you can choose to explore them, and it's basically a gambling mechanic, because there's a chance that there might be some treasure in there, but also a chance that you might fight some monsters or something like that, have an encounter. and it all takes time. So there's a ticking clock with moving pieces that you all might be aware of some of and not others, but any building you explore does take up time, but you could potentially encounter some treasure or interesting information. Because there is lore to be discovered that might give you clues to other things. So anytime you guys want to check out a building that's not one of the specific like numbered buildings, you can absolutely do that, and there are dice to be rolled for what you find in them.
Nifty.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But I will always tell you in your general vicinity what the notable buildings are, and I believe we justify that just by they're the ones that obviously stand out from the others.
Yeah, well, the architecture is different. I would suspect that to our east, the white domed building and the tower with the strange like crown at the top
Yep.
are notable buildings. And in
Exactly.
the zone to our west, the one with the red portcullis
Yes.
is one.
And the base of the big curved thing that leads up to the
Yes.
central pillar is another.
So, given that we are going toward the trees that we saw, I think we should check out the base of that arch that lands in that neighborhood, and the place with the red portcullis. Whether we want to check out anything else along our way there, I'd leave up to the rest of you.
So these two spots.
I
Yes.
think that if we go to the trees first, I think these two places should also be on our list, because this tower is
Yes.
very similar to where we also are, and that is definitely going to be an important building.
Yep, you guys
Yes.
are certainly, I think the map is well drawn to indicate
Yeah.
which buildings are likely to be of interest. And so,
And we can go around counterclockwise and visit places. So,
Yeah.
to make this at least a little bit efficient as far as how we go.
counterclockwise or clockwise?
Counterclockwise.
All right.
Yeah, because we'll be going up, and then we can keep on going rather than coming back down on that other side. That makes sense.
Okay.
Would that be clockwise? Going this way?
It would be clockwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're looking at, if we're
Oh yes, clockwise.
Clockwise.
That's why
I'm sorry, I was
confused.
looking at the other side of the clock.
Oh,
Our clocks in Giant World go the other way around.
Ah, yes. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
And I am confused by your quaint local customs.
all right. So let's do this. Let me take the little party thing, and I will now make it so all of you can move that token if you want to try that.
Oh, chaos!
So you guys will now have control of the little party token, and you decide where it goes.
All right. I think we should designate someone as the token mover in the group.
I think that should be Arvik.
Okay.
you're kind of our party leader, so yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I thought it was tallest person win. So
Well, you were.
Wilfred!
Wilfred's up there going, "What? What are you saying down there?" Yeah.
all right. So we're going to head. Two things. First of all, before we go any further, I want to examine these tall mushroom-shaped things that are surrounding that neighborhood, because it is conceivable, at least, they are some kind of defense. So I want to look
Or are
them
they
over and make
street
sure
lamps?
that
Okay.
they might be just street lamps. They might be like pillars that will kill us if
All
we
right.
cross the
Well,
border.
so what I'll go ahead and tell you is that they are not like a specific location. So if you want to do some general exploring, we can roll the exploration dice.
Okay. What I think we should do, after having a look at these and deciding that they don't look threatening, they're not like runes or
No, they're
glowing
like
as
streetlights.
sparkly energy. They're street lights. So we will head through this field of rubble here, and over to this plaza.
All right.
Do you want?
So
Do
let's do one. As you're just traveling around, we're going to do a random encounter roll, and we're going to do
Oh,
that
okay.
every time you explore a location as well.
Okay.
So someone roll percentile dice.
I'll do it.
Because there are actually denizens of the city.
79.
79. Okay. Um. So.
We're not exactly conspicuous. Right, Wilford?
Huh?
Exactly.
I can understand what you said.
So, you encounter some more of those magical constructs that are in the shape of humanoids with green skin that Professor Scant informed you were Majin. And Megan, I think is what I said before. And so there's 3 of them that are just like the ones that you saw previously um, that have armor. Let me. I think you guys have this handout already, but
Yeah.
but then there's also 3 of them that look like that don't seem to have any armor or weapons at all. They are just they look almost like monks. They're in just robes with no armor or weapons.
Not even 2x4 boards.
Nope.
I think as we encounter those ones, Wilfred would ask Professor Scant to ask them if are they guarding something.
Well, hang on. Just give me just a second here.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so as they are moving through the city, um, you know that the ones that you had encountered in with armor before seemed as though they could not speak and didn't have any other way to communicate other than through gestures. But as this group is passing along, they do stop and look in your direction, and one of the ones in the robes sort of floats forward, and you all hear in your heads with I think telepathy is language independent. Am I right?
It depends on the spell. Some are, some aren't.
Well, it is an innate telepathy, and so I'll say that
Yeah.
it is because that's easier. So you all hear in your heads, "Welcome to Itrin. What is your purpose here?"
We come to learn. And I'll say, and I'll, point, I'll say, Professor Scant, translate.
Yeah, well, yeah, Valine is also saying, "Yes, we have come to study the secrets of the Netherese masters and to learn from them." And Professor Scant starts to repeat that in Loros, but the Magian holds up a hand and speaks back. "This is an acceptable purpose. However, there are dangers here. You will not be protected. Further, I must ask that you respect the architecture and the denizens here, or else you will no longer be welcomed."
We strike only when we are stricken at.
There's
And
no he doesn't respond, and he just kind of floats back to the group because they kind of hover a little bit, and the rest of the group seems to move on their way off on some mysterious purpose.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
no, what is the word urban renewal? Should be contemplated.
Yeah. Well,
Don't break anything walking around, Wilford.
I'll try not to. It's kind of hard. As I almost stumble and run into a building. Whoop.
Yeah, you step on something that crunches and you look and it's a bench. You just crushed a bench under your foot.
That didn't happen.
All right, so you were headed towards the base of that sort of the big curved spire.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
we'll go
let's
first.
go there first. Yes.
Sure.
Mhm.
So as you approach, an arching strut of dark stone rises from this ruined district to a junction high up on the central spire. A gate engraved with arcane sigils is set into the base of the strut.
Oh, a way in, maybe.
Well, I definitely take a closer look at the sigils because
Oh,
that could be informative or dangerous.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Make it with advantage because certainly Valine is doing it as well.
Okay, that went from a 13 to a 27.
Nice.
A natural 20.
Very good.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Nice.
you recognize, first of all, the thing that you notice is that the gate is blocked by a force field. It does not look like it would be one that would hurt you, but certainly it would not permit you to pass through it. The sigils all around it definitely represent the 8 schools of magic. And you recognize with that natural 20 that there is clearly a spot just outside the gate where it looks as though some ritual is to be performed. And you believe
looks
that,
like
given that you've been given a clue that there might be some sort of a ritual that would open the force field, you think this is the place you would do it.
yeah.
Well,
Remember this spot, the stuff we collect, I think we use it here to keep
well, that's interesting. In that case, we need to add that yellow glowing thing underneath the tower as part of the things we need to investigate. I was going to go there later, but yeah, we need to hit there too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over to this
I'm going to
building with
point
the
out
red-
that now that you've had a close-up look at the force field here, you can see at a distance that whole underneath area, underneath the central spire with the glowing sphere there, is that area is also protected by a force field. You had a thought at a
okay.
distance that like it might just be some sort of a magical interference effect, but you can recognize a similar force field now.
Okay, all right, that makes things easier.
I can imagine actually Wilfred kind of touches the force field and it kind of shimmers and then he follows a line as it and then he's like, yeah, that glowing thing's surround inside of it too. So
Yeah, and you haven't really gotten a close look at that. Really, all you can see is kind of there's a glowing orb of some kind there. You'd have to get closer to see it in more detail. All right. So go ahead and roll percentile dice again.
I'll let someone else do it.
I'll roll.
12.
12.
All right. As you spend some time exploring the base of that strut, you are not interfered with.
All right,
Good, that's quiet.
let's head over to that red gate over here.
Sure. So as you move towards that building, you see that there's a big portcullis there, but it sits askew in a 40-foot wide, 30-foot tall archway that serves as the only entrance to this square building. And as you enter, a maze of cell-lined corridors fills this area. It makes you think of a prison.
Looking at the portcullis, was it like something pushed it to the side, or
Your best guess would be that when this city fell out of the sky and buried itself in the ground, there was some damage to some of the buildings.
Oh,
Earthquake damage.
Yeah.
well, not so. It's
No,
not something inside came in.
No, it's not like
Course,
bent out from inside or anything. It looks like the building is partially
Okay.
crooked and it damaged the gate.
Okay, well,
Do you want to look around inside? I don't think there's going to be much in the way of arcane stuff in here. I
if
wouldn't
this-
expect there are a lot of treasure, but because this is a prison for people, and they don't put good stuff in a prison for people. They put people.
right.
But there could be a guardhouse or some sort of storage facility where we might find some
Stuff they took off of prisoners
yeah.
Oh,
that they didn't
okay.
transfer elsewhere. That's what I would look for.
And we might find some information.
Let's look for something in the order of a panopticon or central facility where guards would organize and things like that.
Sure. So you start looking around this building, and as you're exploring it, you spend about half an hour kind of wandering through and looking for points of interest, and you eventually stumble upon what you believe to be some kind of an infirmary. And so, peering through the gap in a collapsed wall, you see a 15-foot square infirmary in disarray, with an operating table in the middle of the room. Leather straps extend from one side of the table into the air above its surface and fasten to the other side. The shape suggests that something or someone invisible is lashed to the table.
Haven't we met invisible enemies before?
I am not inclined to.
Exactly. That we may not want.
This looks like trouble to me.
I think Wilfred is going to go ahead and use one of his fairy fire charges.
Okay.
On that room.
Yeah. There is absolutely an invisible humanoid shape under those straps on the bed. But as far as you can tell, it is altogether not moving. Like you don't even see breath movements or anything.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Mara would like to go and see if there's anything useful, like a healer's kit or anything like that in the room.
Potions.
Yes, just a moment.
And just in general, this is not the kind of thing that adventuring parties normally are on the lookout for. I am on the lookout for things like shields and armor because I can now use it and I don't have it. And so, if we, ordinarily speaking, if you pass by a corpse that has a shield, you wouldn't really bother with it. But yeah.
So I'll definitely keep that in mind. But what I'll also point out is those armored mission you passed seemed like they had good swords.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a weapon. I've got this battle axe that I whittled down from Wilfred's hand axe. But I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
But we need to get you kitted out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you don't find anything else, like really of interest here, in this infirmary. It was pretty sparse to begin with. You think?
Wilfred's gonna go examine the invisible body because because that's just curious.
Sure.
Yeah. You would think that normally if something's invisible when it's alive, its invisibility would go away when it's dead.
Perhaps, yeah.
Who says it's dead? That's what I'm worried about.
Well, so when you say you investigate, tell me what you're doing.
Like going over, like kind of feeling, poking, like if find a pulse, find like see if I can identify what species it is.
Mm-hmm. So you can definitely sort of it feels not warm, but also not frozen cold. It's somewhere in between, and it seems to be humanoid in shape. 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, 5 fingers, etc. It's the face is a little bit like the features are kind of soft. But as far as you can tell, it is entirely inert. Like it is not moving. There is no response to your touch. There's no. It is. Uh, yeah. So I don't want to say dead because the one thing that seems a little funny is that if it were just a dead body, why wouldn't it feel like rotten? Why wouldn't it
Yeah.
feel frozen?
Yeah.
It is neither of those things, but it is also not moving at all, even to breathe.
Is there a strap that would be holding an arm down, like just an arm?
There probably is, and you're not going to touch it.
No, it's like there's
This
one
is
that's
nothing
over
but trouble.
the chest and shoulders, and then around the wrists.
Yeah, I could just see Arvik pushing against it and just not going anywhere. You know that cartoon run where you're shoving at something and your feet are just spinning.
Yeah, I think.
Leave it alone, Wilfred. This is not. There's no profit to be made.
This is
There's
distraction.
No benefit.
And
This is a distraction. We should move on.
And if it didn't wake up when you poked and prodded it, I think either it's dead, unconscious, or better left unmolested further.
Come on, we've got a large city to
We got a
discover.
lot of things to investigate here.
Yeah,
it's true.
We have time. We can come back and poke the invisible body.
Wilfred's going to gonna straighten up from it.
Mara is gonna look up at the ceiling just to make sure, because I think the ceiling is where we saw the inscription the last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do not see any similar inscriptions.
Okay.
So let's head in the direction of that forest. I think
Okay.
those trees.
So go ahead
And
and
as everybody starts moving away, he's going to basically tear off one of the straps. Like,
Why?
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 listen for
Hey.
as he walks out. Listen for any sign of anything.
Yeah, so you are very sneaky and devious with your plan, and as you remove one of the straps, nothing happens.
Okay. That's the reason he only did one, just in case it.
Yeah, I think Arvik, Valine leans over to you and just says, I suspect it was something under sort of a magical stasis and that it could be dispelled, but I agree with you, it's a distraction. So, as you are traveling to this new location, someone please roll percentile dice again.
I'll do it.
88. Whoa.
Getting the impression that higher numbers are not as good.
That's good.
Well, I mean, it could go either way. It depends really on various other factors that you guys have no way to know yet. But so what you discover is a group of 4 Nothics that are, well, I'll show you what they're doing. I have a handout.
Boy.
Oh boy.
I assume we're on our way to the trees rather
Yes.
than actually at them.
Yeah, you encounter them as you make your way in that direction. Where is that? Here we go. There's a bit of artwork here. So, they are not literally eating a person, but this is just, and it's artwork of encountering Nothics here in the city.
All right. Well, they do not look friendly, so
Yeah.
so Arvik hefts his axe and
So,
Weren't we just told to leave the denizens of the city?
yeah,
alone?
I'm not going to attack them first.
so they definitely, I think what happens is that you sort of saw them coming up, like approaching where they were as you were on your way. and they didn't seem to notice you until you started talking about them, and then they all in unison turned and aimed their big green eyeballs at you.
And he has his axe, and Wilfred just looms over him with it.
You are the brute squad.
Yeah.
Warhammer.
Go ahead and make an intimidation check with advantage, Wilfred.
Wow. Natural 20.
Nice.
Plus 0.
Yeah, so the Nothics did that very creepy thing where they didn't seem to notice you until they all turned in unison, and they all turn and look at you. But Wilfred, and then they flee from you. They all just turn and run away.
Bye, boys. Have fun storming the castle.
Wait, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
Not yet.
All right. So we head over
Trees.
to the trees here.
Yeah.
You know, Wilford, I don't think those guys liked you too much.
I'd rather them run than cause problems for us.
So, as you reach these trees, there's a canopy of golden leaves crowning the trees inside a sunken basin. The trees grow in stark contrast to their bleak surroundings, their branches swaying even though the air is deathly still.
Our friend the Dryad might like this.
And then so you see that it's like the whole thing is like in a hollow in the city floor. It's not that far down though. I mean, it's easily accessible. It's designed to be accessed. Vents spaced around the perimeter wall emit a puffy gray vapor, which does not to your senses just seems to be water vapor.
All right.
So Mara would go up to one of the trees and go, "Hello, trees."
So as you actually enter the little arboretum, you realize that as soon as you sort of break the perimeter, there is an illusory sky. And as you're looking up, you're seeing a beautiful starry sky above you as soon as you like step in among the trees, and it's really beautiful. And then all of a sudden it flickers to like a raging thunderstorm for like 2 seconds and then back to stars.
Well,
Did it
sounds
start
like these are
raining
not
for that split second?
trouble in
No.
paradise.
No,
Okay.
what it looks like is glitch. Like it didn't seem like it was supposed to do that.
Now, I'm not sure my character's intelligent enough to notice, but I'm curious whether the stars in the sky look like the stars of now, or of the distant past.
Well,
Is it preseason equinoxes in favor? And I have no idea, but
I think that would be a nature check to assess that.
yeah,
I think that'd be something Wilfred would think too. And
I got a 22. Holy crap!
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
These are not the stars you are familiar with.
Those are the skies of long ago, friends.
huh.
Very long ago.
This
I
would
mean, it
be-
makes sense. I mean, as the sky.
if we had the time
changes
for it,
over-
it would make sense to take notes and draw some
If-
of the
if-
old constellations.
If we had the time, yes, it would be fascinating.
But I think what I want to do now is search the ground
And find some wood.
for branches or twigs that have fallen from these
Yes.
trees.
Yeah.
Very.
So you certainly looking around. I mean, there are branches and twigs and like this is effectively an active growing mini forest, right? So there are those things. But I will also say that as you're kind of looking around, because this place is not super big, it's only, like if you look at the scale, it's only like 200 feet across. But you can see that there's at the center, there's clearly one tree that is bigger than the others.
Well,
I
that's
think
going to be the
where we
magic
should
one,
go.
yes. So let's head there.
Yeah. So as you approach, you see that this one particular tree is not only bigger than the others, but the bark has developed a kind of a brooding face-like shape in the bark.
Are we meeting the Deku tree?
It's not that big.
So Mara will look at it and say, "Hello, tree."
The the bark, one of the bark eyes opens.
Whoa. Okay.
That worked.
And then the Professor Skent goes, translates your hello tree, and the other eye opens, and the tree sort of seems to like settle up, like it's waking up out of slumber, and it surveys all of you with this wooden face, this gnarly. It's literally describes it as a gnarly face. And it looks at all of you, and let's see, you addressed it directly, so it's
I
already
did.
awake. Yeah, no, I know. I'm just looking. It has instructions here for if you stealthed up, and obviously we don't have to do that. So it looks at all of you and just says, "It has been some time since I have been visited by new faces. Who are you and what brings you to me?"
We are the Seekers, and we would like to get into that tower. So we understand that we need a heart of the, what was it again?
A wand of nether oak.
A wand of nether oak. And so, since it would be rude to just take something, we came here thinking that maybe you were the nether oak and we would ask permission.
I am indeed the Nether Oak. But why would you seek entry to the spire? Were I to give you my wood for a wand, what purpose would you serve?
Two purposes, good tree. There is an ancient enemy of my friend Mara within that tower, and we also seek means in which to combat the Frostmaiden who holds the lands above in an icy death.
So, I think Aule is not necessarily sharp enough to recognize this as he's giving his little speech. But I think those of you with good insight skills will notice that the tree does not seem to enjoy that speech. Face kind of gets a little even more sour by degrees there. And then after a moment, it goes, "Humph! Do-gooders! My magic is not for likes of you. Seek elsewhere, do-gooders. Heroes."
So we must take.
Well, then we want to kill monsters and take their stuff.
This is also accurate.
That's also.
I mean, that's also true.
This is just words. I require malice.
Malice?
Malice, you say?
Toward who?
Have you met any of my kind before?
What is your kind?
My kind are the Shadowkai. We breathe cruelty, malice, death, destruction. If it is malice you seek, I have plenty of experience.
Make a persuasion check.
Nope, that's perception. Persuasion.
Yeah, so as you say all of that, the tree goes, "Ha ha! Now that's what I like to hear. You, and only you, may have a wand." And one of the branches goes, leaning down to you, and it's almost like it it's almost the feeling that you get is as if a big person has offered you their hand to shake it, but your hand is only big enough to take one of the fingers, and as you do, the finger just comes off in your hand. But it seems as though that is what it intended, because the branch withdraws, and you are now holding a wand-shaped but otherwise very sort of raw, unfinished, like a stick, but in straight and wand-sized, from the tree. And then it looks to the rest of you and says, "Now, be gone, and do nefarious deeds with my magic."
All of my enemies shall be felled in your name.
Well,
And I think as you keep talking, Valine goes, "Don't keep selling."
Nope, I put it in the bag and I walk away.
Yeah.
Do any of the other trees seem to be moving or sentient of our presence, or is it just this one?
As far as you can tell, the others seem to be, well, like they're ordinary trees, except in that they do seem to like sway in a wind that you don't feel. Otherwise, though, they don't have faces or anything.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, as you're sort of making your way out, the sky briefly flashes bright green, and it's full of clouds for a second, and you are rained on for about 10 seconds, and then it's just clear stars again.
Okay, that is really weird. I want to. Yeah, I don't know if that's something that could be fixed.
probably not.
I'd take other study.
Yeah, and I don't know if as we're leaving, I kind of say, I don't know if an evil tree would like you to mess with its habitat.
As it may be the one controlling the sky.
Well, I mean, the changes that sounds like something's breaking. That looks like something's breaking down. You know,
Maybe on purpose.
probably a rune or two got cracked in the crash or.
Well, and the thing is, looking around the city, it's very obvious that this city sustained heavy damage from its crash landing, however long ago. There's a lot of the buildings that are in rubble, towers tilted, knocked over, and yeah, so there's all sorts of good reason to believe that things may well be damaged here and there, like in terms of even magical enchantments and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
I think this is one instance where we can also ascribe it to partially to malice.
I mean, the tree wants evil things to be done with its magic, but yeah, a more stable supply of water and.
I mean, it's fine.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you make your way out. Are you heading for that tower there?
Yes, we're heading for that tower.
Okay, let's get another percentile die as you are.
I'll roll it this time.
All right.
60.
60.
No, 06.
Oh, 06. Okay, so once again, you don't encounter anyone on your way to that tower.
Okay.
Now, if it was 60, but it's not. All right, so yeah. So as you approach that tower, sorry, I have to. The random encounters are at the start of the same section that describes all of the other buildings, so I keep having to scroll up and down. The walls of this thin tower are etched with intricate designs of hands and eyes. Silver light flickers from a high window, above which a large carved eye animates and blinks. Part of the tower's roof is missing.
How tall is the tower?
I mean, it's
Quite tall.
100 feet.
Okay, so not the kind of thing that Wilfred could just lift someone up to. Okay.
No.
I'm gonna.
How high is the animated eye?
Let's see.
Looks like it's right at the top.
Yeah. It is. It is at the top. Like
Okay.
if you zoom way in on the picture, you can see it's literally on the drawing.
Illustration.
Does there look to be an entrance at the bottom?
Yes.
All right. I think we should go in. This looks like an important place.
Valine says, based on the symbolism, I would guess if each tower is based on a school of magic, I would suggest this is divination.
Oh well.
Well, before we go in, look for any barriers or traps or.
Make an investigation check, and you can do so with advantage because I would imagine everybody's helping with
Yes.
that.
12.
Okay. You do not find any indication of traps or force fields or anything that would prevent you from entering this tower.
Right. Anyway, Wilfred's going to squeeze in first, just in case.
Yeah. So inside, as with the other tower, there's not much in the way of like furnishings or anything on the lower levels. It's really seems designed to, you go to the top and that's where the action is.
Yes. So let's climb up.
All right. So
I'm gonna take out my bow.
Okay.
Just
Sure. Yeah. So as you are approaching up the stairs, Wilfred, in his giant form, certainly
Edging.
finds the stairs, like are trivial, but you're pretty much having to like crawl on your hands and knees to get in through this tiny, normal human-sized building. But you are able to squeeze your way up through, nonetheless, along with the others. And as you reach the top floor of the spire, large gashes in the roof allow you to see the dark icicle-festooned roof of the great ice cavern beyond. Silver light emanates from a 3-foot diameter glass orb situated atop a 2-foot-high cylindrical stone plinth in the center of a 30-foot diameter rubble-strewn circular chamber. Eyeballs drift inside the orb like fish in a bowl. Some have cataracts, while others are bloodshot or pus-filled, but all turn and gaze at you as you approach.
Oh, that does not look healthy.
Are there any words written like walls or?
Yes, so as you look for that inscription, you believe that the place where it would have been is part of the missing roof, part of where it's missing. So the part that you would want is gone.
I imagine we can tell because we can see like the beginning of a letter at the edge of a hole.
Yeah. Anyone who has skill in religion can make a check. Looking at this crystal ball plinth thing.
I do.
Not it.
I do.
I don't.
Nope.
Natural 20.
All right. Yeah, so you recognize immediately that a crystal ball filled with eyes is a symbol of Savras, who is the god of divination. That's like Savras's holy symbol.
Okay.
Except, like, usually it's symbolic. This one seems to be literal crystal ball with actual eyes in it.
I turned to Professor Scant. I thought the Netherese were not particularly religiously inclined. I thought they were like scoffed at religion.
Well, see, that's a common misconception, actually. They were, of course, very interested in the gods because they sought to supplant them, you see.
I see.
Oh, so you're saying this could be a tower dedicated to replacing the god of divination?
Well, that was more of a long-term plan. I think it was more of a, study under them, learn their secrets, and then once you are ready...
Oh. Huh. So maybe this is like a synthetic got something in that order, like order.
Well, no, they did actually.
This
in
is
fact,
all very complicated.
They performed many of the standard rituals in order to achieve the divine magic results that they were looking for, given their not god status. But they did eventually hope to overtake the gods.
So, who wants to touch the thing and see if we can find out what was written on the ceiling?
Well, so as you look a little closer at it, there is actually some engraved instructions in Draconic on like the plinth, right up next to the orb,
Who can read Draconic?
and it says, "Ask and we shall find."
Okay. Well, I will ask.
What do you do?
I'm not going to put my hand in the bowl. I'm going to put my hand on the bowl and say, "Can you show me the missing
inscription?"
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
Well, at least it only affects me. That's a 15.
So, you touching this crystal ball. So you suddenly find your vision zooming outward and flying over the city in the direction that you had been heading. So, to the northeast, flying to this location on the map.
Okay.
And you see, let's see. Yeah, so and you see that the chunk, you're not able to read what it says, but you are absolutely, like, you believe, shown with unambiguous detail, the chunk of the ceiling that you need that had that engraving on it is now in that building.
Okay.
And then, after you receive this vision, you take 14 piercing damage, and one of your eyes is magically plucked out of your head and enters the bowl, the orb.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Whoa!
Oh God!
Ow! At least it wasn't both of them. Ow!
Cure wounds. I don't fucking care. Cure wounds, damn it.
I mean, cure wounds will help the hit points, not the eye. It'll heal nicely to a healed, empty eye.
So 5 points of healing to you.
You?
I can't reattach the eye, but I can stop the bleeding.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
did the eye just like almost like pull itself out of its socket? Is that what?
No, it basically it teleported out, and but you can see it now. It Iggy's eye has now joined the others.
Do we?
And Valine kind of peers down and just says, "Well, I suppose they had to come from somewhere."
Hey, Iggy.
All right, I think we've got everything we need here. Let's. And Arvik just kind of takes a step away from this thing. He doesn't even want to touch it accidentally.
Iggy,
did you at least learn where it was?
Yeah, there's a fragment to the north, like straight north from here.
North?
Well, around the curve.
I mean,
if we follow around the curve, it'll.
Yeah. Iggy knows exactly where. So.
Yeah.
All right.
It's over yonder.
All right.
Oh. And Valine does kind of look back at it and just say, "It's obviously a substantial price to pay, but if we're ever really stuck, it might still be worth it. Probably not."
Yeah, well, we'll come back there if we need to. Oh.
Well, I mean, if you wish to give up your own eye.
I'm just saying, we might keep it in mind.
Well, I mean, maybe a restoration would work but I feel like that's a lot of magical power.
Unfortunately, there's a spell called regeneration that is what is
Yeah.
necessary for that.
Oh,
But I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was something that you know, like regeneration would be resisted or something.
Well,
But
yeah, it's also a 7th level spell, so
yeah,
we've got a ways to go
Yeah.
for that.
So here's what I'm going to say about missing an eye is that like there are actually rules in the player's handbook that like it suggests how to address some of these types of injuries, and I think that missing an eye, they usually say like disadvantage with ranged attacks. That seems too much to me. But I think that we'll kind of just play with it in the fiction a little bit without necessarily including mechanical effects.
Yeah, I think Iggy will go up to Mara and say, just until I get used to this.
Of course,
Can
use
I
my shoulder. I will
Thank
help.
you.
I will help steady you.
Thank you.
Don't worry, little sister. You're fine.
Aw. All right. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I called you little sister. I meant little sibling. I apologize.
That's okay.
note to self: don't touch anything.
Yeah.
So I could see somebody thinking that you might actually be able to see out of that eye slightly if you close your intact eye.
Not
Right.
that would be terribly helpful.
Not likely.
Yeah, and the view wouldn't be great either.
Oh, I was muted. I was wondering why nobody was reacting to a word I was saying.
Aw.
Isn't there a legend of a god that gave up an eye for knowledge?
I have heard of this.
I think
Like
that's
you're talking real
from
world?
another. That's from another realm.
Must have heard the story
All right.
somewhere.
Well, we've found what there is to find here, I think.
Yeah.
Let's check out this castle-shaped building over here.
Okay.
Head in that direction. Do we need to roll another percentile?
Yep.
This one?
This one?
Yep.
Yeah.
The big castle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll roll it.
Roll it. Roll it.
Ooh,
roll it.
97.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm sorry if you lose another eye.
No, but just imagine if Rowan had lost the eye.
All right, so
I know of a few archers that are quite good and only have one eye. I'm thinking of the Jason. Are you thinking the same archer I'm thinking?
Maybe.
Thunderbolt Fantasy.
Oh yes. Yeah, but his fate was terrible.
Yeah, well, okay, and he was an asshole, but still.
Romano.
As you are making your way along, you have a sight that gives, like, at first, what you see is 3 Nothics that seem to be walking in a kind of organized formation, which is notable just because when you've encountered Nothics before, to use another realm's iconography, very Gollum-like. You know what I mean? Like they have lost a lot of their humanity. They're sort of very like chaotic and twitchy. These seem much more under control of themselves, and they seem to be walking in formation around something. And then you realize with sort of a double take that what they're walking around that is clearly leading the group is like a human skull without the jaw that's just floating in midair, and occasionally little wisps of smoke and little arcane symbols sort of flash into existence around it. And I'm going to show you there's a handout right here.
You know, guys, the last...
Oh no.
Yeah.
The last time we came across a skull, it was green and it caused lots of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
This one
boy.
is not quite like that one, although there are obvious similarities, of course. But it is not wreathed in green flames this time. It is just floating. Uh, it's floating in your direction, and it's obviously on an intercept course with you. Um, and like I mentioned, it has these three Nothics kind of flanking it, like it's bodyguards or something. You know what I mean? And so it is floating towards you, but you spot it when you're still like maybe 45 feet away. So what do you do?
Hide.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that
Hide?
tower.
Hide,
Well,
hide behind Wilfred.
well, so here's what I will say though is that if you look on the map where you were just coming from and where you're just going to, you're walking again across a big open area.
Yeah.
There's really
Yeah.
not anywhere to hide there, but you could run away and hide
Yeah.
once you get somewhere where there is cover.
I think we want to run back to those collapsed pieces of columns that are behind us,
Okay.
and possibly break line of sight with it, and
Sure.
then hide.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
looks like a place where there might be big enough hiding places for Wilfred.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say is, if you all take off in a sprint away from this thing, it's obvious that it had been aware of you. It seemed clear that it was heading towards you before. But as you kind of occasionally glance back over your shoulder while fleeing, it is still moving in your direction, but it has not increased its pace. So you are leaving it behind.
Okay, so I want to go past that tower, and then down the end of it, and possibly kind of lose it.
Okay. Yeah, so
Like-
what I'm going to need is a stealth check from everybody, including Wilfred is certainly at disadvantage.
Oh, I was already rolling at disadvantage.
Well, yeah, that's fine, but yeah, so it's not worse, but it is a group
Wow.
check.
Oh my
Okay.
god, I actually got
Oh,
a
so these are some good rolls.
Yeah,
I got a dirty 20 on stealth.
Nice.
I'm the only
Okay.
one who rolled poorly.
Yeah. So let's see what's our boy got for in way of passive perception here. So I think that where you have hidden does not give you clear line of sight on the demi-lich.
Right.
You have hidden in a place that you guys feel, to your own assessment, that you've hidden pretty well. And you know that you moved away from where might have been an obvious place to go, and you didn't go that way, and now you are hidden somewhere that you believe you've got total cover.
Yeah.
And you wait. And you wait.
Maybe Wilfred does the peek up over the edge, see if he can see.
And Arvik smacks him in the knee.
Well, how long do you wait?
Right, fair. After a couple
long
minutes.
enough so they can catch up. That they can catch up with us at the pace that they were moving.
So if they were going to head like right for you, they would get there by now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you wait that long and maybe another little bit just to be sure.
Yeah.
And then you kind of peek out and you don't see them anywhere.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I don't want to start killing things here. At least not unless we have to.
I mean,
Because who knows what defenses we might set off.
Yeah.
whatever that thing
Not
was.
to mention, floating skulls are proven to be dangerous down here.
Yeah, well, there's that, and who knows whether this. It sounds to me like it would count as a denizen too. So
Yeah, we don't want those.
Yeah, we haven't
Those constructs fighting us.
Yeah, we haven't seen those construct guys trying to fend off or attack any of these things. So, And with a malicious tree, I don't think they would find, a demi-lich or whatever that skull thing was, to be not appropriate here.
Well, especially if it's actually Netherese, right? If it's something that survived since then. Anyways, let's have a look at this castle place.
Trying to remember what information you guys had specifically got about them already. I guess it wasn't much, right? It was really just Mara having already been told that she was looking for. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we know that Eriolathus is a floating skull, because the Nothics.
The Nothics, right? Yeah, that was the Nothics.
Yeah, the Nothics told us.
Right.
At least that much.
Yeah. So let me just double check what specifically they told you.
If that was your quarry, then we missed a chance to fight it in the open. But
yeah,
But I don't think
You
that
say that
would-
like fighting it
that
in the
would-
open would be a good
so
idea.
yeah,
well,
so
rather than its lair.
So what they told you is that Erilarthus was the arch wizard of Yithrin.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
No, he sounds very bad. But I have sworn to help Mara with this quest, and I will help Mara with this quest.
Yes.
All right. So with no Nothics or floating skulls in sight, you try again for that big building.
Back to the castle.
Yeah. So this colossal building has many lofty turrets in a state of disrepair, the ground below littered with their rubble. A giant-sized door at the base of the structure stands slightly ajar.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah. Wilfred will kind of go in, feeling comfortable going into this one. Peek in, see if he can see anything waiting for us.
What you see is that this is a library.
All right, we've just lost the lead. And Wilfred.
Looking through the books.
Can I make a survival check to see if I see those tracks from our friend who was going to lead us down here?
From the mummy thing, right?
Yes. Yep.
Make a survival check.
Because Professor Scant told us that it was a librarian.
You don't, but you feel like it would be really hard to find tracks here because it's kind of just magically shaped bare stone.
Probably has like cleaning spells going off here and there.
It also looks like there's actually traffic. Like the people do come and go. It's not been sitting completely empty for thousands of years.
I think Wilfred is going to abandon caution and just gonna go.
All
The
right.
library. And just go right in.
Yeah,
Be careful.
So shelves line the walls of this labyrinthine library, which is crammed with books on every conceivable subject.
But in Netherese.
Just gonna look at the spine, see if there's any he can read.
Like any that would be in common would be in an archaic form of common. There's already been draconic inscriptions here. Like there are languages that are as old as this city was, and so they're not all in Netherese, but a lot of
common, draconic, infernal, and primordial are what.
Yeah, basically what that will mean is that some of the books you can read. Yeah, it's just not all of them. So I'm just saying they're not all uniformly in one language.
Yeah.
So as you guys are looking around, I think you're like scanning shelves. I think that at least at first glance, whatever sort of sorting system that they've got is incomprehensible to you. Like as far as like to your eye, they're not sorted in a sensible way. But there's lots of them. So you're looking around that and kind of puzzling over like some of those shelves and checking out the books, and it's very exciting. And then so I would imagine some of you are looking at the books. Who's like looking around for trouble?
Arvik is definitely have his eyes open for trouble.
Yeah, and Rowan doesn't want to touch this. No.
Yeah.
Unless you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, the fact that there might be information here that is useful to our search is is a good one. This is a worthwhile place to look around in. But yeah, if this is the library, I'm looking for our librarian friend.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So
Or anybody else who might be patronizing us.
are you guys mostly staying together though, or are you kind of splitting up? Like this is a big building, you can see on the map.
I'm going to stay within. I'm going to stay where I can see the scholars as they look at the books.
Yeah, I want to.
But like go ahead a little bit, look down a side corridor, look up to the
into a
balconies and stuff
room.
like that.
I'm not going to stay clustered up too tightly, but I definitely want to stay within at least eye shot or arrow shot of everyone.
Yeah, so
We're
no
shouting
further than about 40 or 50 feet.
Okay. So
and always within I can see them.
yeah, so you're looking around, and it's classic, ancient, creepy, semi-abandoned library stuff, right? It's great, and as you're kind of watching, you're looking down sort of an aisle between shelves, and then just like passing along, not apparently aware of you at first, you see a bespectacled, jackal-headed humanoid pacing into view carrying a bundle of scrolls. And behind him, an eyeless, white, 5-foot-tall penguin in a leather harness shuffles behind it, dragging a small cart laden with books. And they're just going on their way, but then there's a moment where the jackal-headed humanoid kind of stops, looks over your direction, then the penguin bumps into them, and then they just say, "Ah, you must be the librarians! Scrivenscry has need of your assistance." And he's like hurrying over to you.
All right. What language did he use there? Did
That was
Professor
common.
Scry have to?
No, it
That was
common.
common?
Yep.
Okay. Like, what kind of help do you need?
Well, I am delighted to have found this excellent library, but I'm having a little bit of trouble locating the book that I'm after. I don't suppose you could help me out?
It depends on what the book is.
And we're a little new to this library.
I'm just on the cleaning staff.
You basically, in Zootopia, the bit with the laughing sloth, the sloth that laughs in slow motion, that's the reaction you get to the cleaning staff joke. That's a good one, cleaning staff. Well, I'd say you're not doing your job very well, eh?
What book are you looking for?
Oh, well, it's just a little tome. Part of a series, actually, but I would only expect one of them to be here. It's called a Book of Keeping.
Book of Keeping.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Scant, do you know what a book of keeping is?
I'm afraid it is not within my personal areas of expertise. I am not sure.
Well, Professor Scant.
And, so Scrivenscry looks up and is like, "Oh, Scrivenscry thinks that is a fascinating little bubble."
It really is. It really is. So since we are, what is the topic of this book? I am not familiar with it, but perhaps we can try to.
Oh, it's a directory of sorts. I'm sure that many would find it very dull and dreary and all that sort of thing. So I can understand why they wouldn't have it on the high traffic shelves or anything. But I just must have it. It's sentimental, you know.
Insight check.
Yeah.
A note on the books. Are they like rotted and like are they actually usable in usable condition?
A lot of them are usable.
Okay.
And
You
I get
say there are
14.
some older ones that might be harder to read, but by and large, most of them are usable.
Basically,
So
I think Wilfred would have.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
still
sorry.
in the middle of the other stuff, so we'll come back to that. The so the with the insight of 14, uh, you gather that they didn't lie to you about what the book is, because they want you to help them find it. Now, you do get the feeling that like why they want it is probably more than sentimentality. But you wouldn't know what it's for.
So, me as Spence has an idea. Mara has never set foot in a library before, so she has no idea what to do.
Well, so let's just cut back briefly over to Wilfred, and maybe Valine is also kind of just looking through books. What are you looking for, though?
I think. Well. What would Wilfred look for?
I mean, I
Like,
don't know. I mean, were you asking me just
yeah,
like what books
I'm
do I
just saying
find?
like I think Wilfred would just be going, seeing anything with books on magic, maybe history of the city.
I mean, you could definitely find that stuff, but like I said, what we're talking about here is you would need to spend a couple of hours here to find useful things.
Well, I mean, like kind of just skimming, and if he sees the title
Okay.
that
What I'm telling you
mentions
is
magic.
mechanically, in a few minutes, you find nothing except the confidence that if you were to spend a few hours here, you might find something useful.
Okay.
But in a few minutes, no. Sorry.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, they're not sorted in a way that makes any sense, and a lot of them you can't read, and so it's like you
Hey,
get the
Spence.
feeling that there would be a lot of good stuff here, but it's going to take time to find anything useful.
Spence,
Yes.
your personal idea, is it anything that any of our other characters might think of?
Yes. If there is a librarian desk that would have some kind of directory of books, that would probably be a place to start.
I think Wilfred's background would be kind of perfect for that because he has a sage background.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He would know how to use the
So
library.
Wilfred would
He would
know
know how to-
to
yeah,
at least start
so-
looking there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's going to be some kind of directory, some kind of structure for that.
Yeah. Okay. So, I hesitate to keep just distilling it down to the mechanics, but what I'm telling you is, this library absolutely is a treasure trove of useful information for you that's going to take you more than 5 minutes of browsing to find. If you want to search and research and spend some time here, then yes, there's absolutely things to find. No,
I think it's
don't
worthwhile.
have things already.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Do we
But I'm actually looking for our librarian mummy friend because he would actually know.
Yeah, is there
assuming he would have anything to say to you.
Yeah. Is there does it look like a desk or maybe like a place where a librarian would be working in here?
Yeah, I mean, but the question is, like, are you all just wandering off or what? And you also have Scrivensky here who has asked you for your help.
Well, yeah, we can. I don't see why not. We can't help you find this book whilst we.
Excellent. That would be just splendid. I can describe what it would look like, and if you could just help me find it, that would be ever so helpful. And while that conversation is happening, Ale, this penguin, which I actually have a handout for you. Scrivensky introduces you all, of course, to Kingsport, my attaché.
Wow.
Yeah.
My lord.
Yeah, and so as this conversation is happening, Kingsport, this 5-foot albino eyeless penguin shuffles over to you, Aule, and kind of like taps you on the hand with a flipper.
Yes.
And then when you kind of when you look over, it moves its foot slightly and reveals that it has a piece of paper under its foot, and then
I'll
puts
take
its
the
foot
piece.
back down and looks away.
I will reach and take the piece of paper.
Yeah, and it moves away and lets you take it. But it was clearly attempting to do this without being noticed by Scriven Scry.
Mm. So of course do it with the least stealthy and tricky person in the entire party,
Yeah.
which would be me. But so yes, I will step away and
Mm-hmm.
look at the piece of paper.
Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
I did well the last time, but yeah,
God.
Wow, that's amazing.
Scriven Scry is just tickled to be getting help finding his book, so he does not notice as you slip away and open this little folded piece of paper, which has written on it in atrocious but legible handwriting, "Help me."
He found the paladin.
He found the He found the do-gooder paladin, which Okay, I'm going to have to help the eyeless 5-foot albino penguin. Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, Mara would help it too.
Iggy feels some kinship with it.
So here's the question. It's clear that you guys are going to spend some time here in the library, but what are you all getting up to now, given that at least Rowan has agreed to help Scriven Scry find the book, that the book of keeping that they're looking for, and Kingsport has requested help. But what are you all doing?
Oh, Wolfred's just wandering unless someone comes and basically says something to him about finding a specific book.
Yeah.
When he gets a chance, and Scriven Scry is a bit away from his the person he's trying to rescue, the Kingsport. Yep, LA will sidle.
He's not really ever that far away. He's because it's clear that his instructions are to follow Scriven Scry around with the cart. He took advantage of Scriven Scry being momentarily distracted.
And LA is not clever enough or good enough at deception for that. He's gonna have to do this bluntly and possibly with violence. Oh boy. But he'll stay around Scriven Scry and Kingsport for the moment and watch their interactions, see if he's not like physically bound or chained to that cart or anything.
He is. He's in a leather harness.
Oh, he's in leather harness. Oh, yeah. Well, isn't that? So I'll just take some time studying that harness and seeing how hard it would be to actually cut him loose and free. When the time comes to free him from this inhuman bondage.
Well, I mean, he is inhuman, but
exactly. Pun intended.
Indignant bondage.
Yeah. So I'm going to see how hard it is going to be to get him out of that.
So I think Valine and Wilfred, it sounds like, are kind of just doing their own research. Is anyone acting quickly, or do we want to say everyone's looking around the library for a while before we change the status quo?
I think, well, yeah, I don't think anything that's happening is affecting Arvik, keeping an eye on what's going on, and also, keeping an eye out for anybody else that might show up.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I'm not taking any rash action at the moment, mainly because I haven't seen what's on the paper, so I don't even know what's going on with Aule.
Yeah,
So
Aule's
probably gonna have to be the one to take the lead on that particular piece, I think. But
yes.
yeah, and I don't have a particularly strong interest in the books, except that the scholarly type people should definitely look for useful information about the city, especially. Being able to identify what some of the other buildings are would be good. But that's not Arvik's strength, so he's just keeping an eye out.
Mara is impatiently looking up at the ceiling for any kind of clue, but like definitely
or ceiling
definitely
inscriptions
is like, okay, I understand we're helping, but let's move on.
Mara is the first person Aule would want to talk to about this problem. So when Mara is in the vicinity, Aule will kind of do like the come over and talk to me quietly.
What do you want?
The eyeless penguin is a captive of this being and I will open the note and then close the note.
Oh,
my ethics will not permit me to allow this to go unchallenged.
You know what I could do?
What could you do?
I could go invisible, untie the thing, and go from there.
Then we run it. Then we run into the whole. Then things will get nasty fast. I think everybody should know before the violence breaks out, so they know why things are going violent.
Oh, that's true. But I only have one charm of sending, and I didn't.
But go quietly tell all the others.
Okay.
That I do intend to free him. Him, they, not sure the pronoun.
Okay.
Scriven Scry uses he and him for.
Kingsport.
I know. Scriven Scry uses he and him for Kingsport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but Kingsport might have different opinions about it too.
It's true that, but you only have Scriven Scry to go by so far.
Yep.
So Mara will go find Arvik first. Arvik.
Yeah. Yes.
Aule is going to try to free the penguin because the penguin is sentient and it wants to be freed.
All right.
Yes, Iggy is hanging on to Aule now.
Yes, me to let everyone know.
All right.
I'm letting everyone know.
Okay. Oh, goody. So if Iggy's holding on to Aule, then Aule can tell Iggy. This is Aule's grand plan.
So I'll kind of nonchalantly head back to where the rest of the group is.
And I will then go find Rowan. Same thing. Rowan. That big penguin thing. He is a captive. Aule is going to try to free it because it asked him to. Just letting you know.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes things. Okay.
Yeah. So, things, stuff. Be careful. Please don't die. All that good stuff. Walk and try to find Wilfred and Valine, I guess.
The wandering scholars.
I've talked to everybody using telepathy. Haven't I?
I mean, we can certainly say that you have at this point. I don't think it would be
any. So I'll take care of. Well, I can't take care of Valine, but I can definitely. I don't know that I would have talked to Valine telepathically, but I definitely have Wilfred. And I can tell him that we have a captive albino penguin that we're offering, or that Aule is going to try and free. So be prepared.
Oh, great. I don't have to do it now.
Wilfred's going to, receiving that, kind of look up over the top of the shelves to see where Iggy's at, and then do a message to them and say, should I provide a distraction?
nudge Ellie and say, "Distraction needed."
A
subtle one.
Distraction or force of arms.
Distraction would probably be a better thing to start with.
And I see. I can probably, if I can see Iggy, I can probably see where where I Scriv and Scrav and Kingsport are wandering around, right?
So is Rowan still helping? Helping Scriv and Scry look?
Yes. He's doing so, but he's doing it with not caution, but he's definitely keeping it out of the corner of his eye, seeing what everyone else is doing. Because if something pops off, he doesn't want to be like elbow deep in the stacks.
Because basically what Wilfred is thinking is like, sending a message to Scrib and Scry saying, over here. And like and then just kind of moving a little bit, saying, over here. And just trying to lead him off and giving them a chance for there be some separation between the two.
I'm just imagining that first scene in Ghostbusters now.
Yeah. I was also just thinking to myself that an opportunity for a comedy that we hadn't explored yet was Wilfred at his size trying to read regular sized books.
Yes, I was miming that
magnifying
earlier.
glass.
It's like. But yeah, so here's the question. I have information that I can share with you that is the result of you guys spending some time studying in the library. But
Yes.
would you want to do that before or after you take action regarding Scriv and Scry and Kingsport?
Sounds like it's going to be after.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we
I'm-
think it before because we might be chased out.
Well, yeah, but it also depends on how they react if they notice, but I'm sure they will notice.
Looks like Spence votes for before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Go ahead
mean,
and
the
do
knowledge
the-
might change the timeline of things, so I think before. So we
Alright.
don't have wind up with any weird
Sure.
inconsistencies.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I mean, you guys tell me how this goes down.
Okay, so yeah, so when Wilfred starts luring Scrum and Sky even slightly away from Kingsport at
One thing I will share is that anyone who is around Scriv and Scry during this whole period knows that he does not shut up. He's delighted to be here after all. It's such a fascinating place, don't you think? I only just came here just yesterday, arrived here by plane shift, don't you know? Because I'm looking for those books of keeping. They're all hiding all over the plains, don't you know? And I'm hoping that we'll find one here. Wouldn't that be exciting? But there are, of course, many other exciting tomes to be located. And he's just
Over here.
on and on like that the whole time.
Can I? Oh, and I'm assuming this message is directly to him, or can I hear it as well?
To him, yeah.
Oh.
To Scriv and Scry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, wait, so like, is this a message cantrip, or are you just whispering?
yeah, cantrip.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Espionage.
Rowan's
Given
like,
that you have magically transmitted that message, I don't know where over here is the response in the message cantrip.
Rowan's
Is he like kind of turning in circles?
Well, I mean, he's looking around.
Rowan raises an eyebrow. What are you talking about?
So Mara will kind of pick up on what Wilfred's doing and use taumaturgy and do over here.
I say, are we playing hide and seek? Is these games? I mean, I'm always in for games, but I'm kind of in the middle of looking for a book right now.
In a
I'm
different
over
direction.
here.
Over
To the left.
Well, I say, I'm having some concerns now that this is suspicious behavior. Are you all just being silly? If so, I insist that you tell me now.
Rowan,
don't
I'm
know
a
what you're
paladin. We're
talking
not
about.
silly.
Rowan looks at him like, because he can only hear one of them, so he's like, "What are you talking about?"
And
And like Scrivensky takes your hand and says, "Oh, Scrivensky, I would never doubt your loyalty. After all, you're here beside helping me. I am wondering about the rest of your crew up to mischief."
Wilfred's trying to do this from basically, kind of crouched from behind a bookshelf.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully not visible.
And
Oh yeah,
Easily.
well, I mean, so Scrivensky is confused, but and maybe a little bit irritated at this point because it's one
Yeah.
thing if someone wants to attract his attention to tell him something, but he doesn't really like just being jerked around.
it's like, and Rowan goes, "Well, they're generally the no nonsense kind of people. So if they're saying something, they might have found your book."
Well, if so, then they should say so. After all, what's the point in just saying, "Oh, over here, over here, over here, now
I
over
am
there"?
the book.
What?
I
you're-
am the book.
Whoa! Wait a minute. If you are the Book of Keeping, tell me what names you have in you.
Names, Rowan says. The Book of Keeping has names in it?
I told you that, dear boy. It's a directory.
Oh,
I
Okay.
would Wilfred know what the bookkeeping?
You can make an
Yeah.
Arcana check, but it's high.
Okay.
Oof.
Nope.
now,
What'd you get?
now in all of
He's gonna do a shot in the dark and say, "I have yours."
What? What? What do you mean?
Are you okay?
Find me.
Are you okay, Scrivensky?
Find you? I'm looking for you. This is very unhelpful. If you actually are calling out to me, then why not say, like, row A, shelf 2?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Doing this
Um,
to know that Rowan thinks this creature has gone absolutely mad.
While Scrivensky is distracted,
Yeah.
um,
yeah.
Arvik is going to see if he can get between the penguin and Scrivensky, and just kind of get the penguin
Out of line of sight so that I can free
out
him.
of, yeah.
I
That
think
sounds good.
Yeah, because Scrivensky is clearly distracted, so I think that's easily done right now.
Okay, so so then I'm going to free the penguin.
Mm-hmm.
So, in all of Scrivensky's talking, has he loose-lipped about what the Book of Keeping actually is besides a directory of names?
No. He hasn't gotten into it. He's mentioned what he believes it looks like, but that he hasn't gotten into it from there. And like, I guess Rowan, you wouldn't have this information because you're not hearing the other side of Wilfred's message. But certainly, Wilfred, I think you realized that like you made a wild leap, but he did seem to certainly react to the idea that you have his name.
And I gave away my telepathic helmet slug.
So while Scrivensky is distracted, you free Kingsport from his harness, and he whispers gently from this enormous beak, "Thank you." do you sort of hustle him away out of sight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take him out of sight. I mean, there might yet be bloodshed, but we'll get him out of the line of fire.
Sure.
Yeah.
It becomes apparent pretty quickly that he is blind, but let's see. Does he have?
How much does he weigh? Can I
well,
maybe
I mean,
just pick him up? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you probably could. He's like humanoid size. He's medium.
Oh, I mean, yeah. If he's going to be slow, I'll just pick him up.
Yeah. So he does seem to have like he has no eyes, but he does seem to be able to like sense where people around him are well enough.
So we've been in here for a while, so I'm sure we will found maybe a closet or a small office or something with a closable door somewhere.
Yeah. Well, somewhere certainly out of sight, tucked away.
Out of sight that he can stay behind the door,
Yeah.
so then we can deal with this plane shifting slaver.
Mm-hmm. So as Scriven Scry is getting frustrated with this. It's like, I say, I'm starting to believe you may not actually be the Book of Keeping after all. So out with it. If you are who you say, then A, why would you even talk to me? B, if you are talking to me, why would you talk to me but not tell me where you are? It just makes no logical sense.
And
Iggy will tell Wilfred that the penguin has been rescued through telepathy.
So you haven't moved. I can't meet you if you don't move.
And Rowan.
And just like stalking down the aisle, just going, I'm moving, and he's going to give me hot and cold. What are we doing here?
Oh my god!
Just kind of, when he comes to an intersection, just give him left. Just say left.
Okay, yeah, he's
right.
He's following your instructions. Like, are you? Yeah.
And like, kind of try and do a circuitous route where he kind of comes right to me.
Okay. And he turns the corner and just sees you and is like,
Did you see that? That book just disappeared.
What?
Yeah, I picked it up.
Make a deception check.
Okay.
I gave you a lot of leeway already.
Yeah.
Natural 20. Oh my gosh.
I can confirm.
I think that he leaps onto like your pant leg and like claws his way up to like holding onto the front of your chest plate so he can be eye to eye and says, "Where?"
Is there a second floor?
I think it went to gather more names.
Oh god.
Your voice sounds awfully familiar.
Really?
Oh boy.
Oh
man.
No, if you didn't have such an honest face, I might think you were up to something.
Rowan.
Actually, and he climbs up on and he's standing on your shoulder. Actually, I say, I can see over the shelves now. That's helpful. Well, all right, well, carry me down that aisle now. I think we'll keep looking.
I'll do that for a little bit. Just
all right.
See.
He what did he tell me the book looked like?
I mean, it looked like it was a large tome, like 2 feet square for each cover, and like thick red leather with like gold embossing on it.
Okay. while he is off riding Wilfred, I'm going to see if I can find the librarian. I'm going to actually actively
A
look.
real librarian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think like looking around, you make an investigation check.
Come on, good roll. 14.
You are like wandering around, and you do spot in the distance what looks like the mummy that you had seen, although in a newer robe. But then as you're like hurrying towards it, you realize there's another one that looks just like it, kind of further like down another aisle.
So finding ours will be a challenge.
And the language that they spoke was similar to Elvish, correct?
I think so. I mean, actually, let me double check.
I'll bet if you addressed it in, yeah.
Yeah, well, so let me get back to that.
Yeah, the only reason I'm asking is because I do speak Elvish now, but and I think when you referred to their language, it was like an older, like kind of an ancient sounding Elvish. So if it responds to Elvish, then I can continue talking to it in that way, or I'll have to go get Professor Scan.
Let's see. I don't think we established that it's so. Okay, the mummy that you encountered in the ancient elven ruins in Icewind Dale spoke Elvish.
Oh, okay.
This mummy that you found in the ice in the caves of hunger didn't ever speak to you at all.
Okay, so then, well,
I didn't respond to Professor Scant.
Oh,
speaking Ross.
Honestly, yeah, I don't remember that. So I will confide to you right now that you guys are off the map with this mummy, and I.
No, because Professor Scant can speak their language anyway. So,
yes.
I will. Are they doing like librarian things, or they're just kind of milling about?
Yes, but they're basically not like addressing you or looking you. They're utterly ignoring you. They do not seem to be customer facing employees.
Well, crap. I'm gonna go back and get Professor Scant. I was like, because Professor Scant, you speak the Netherese language, correct?
So, not that I want to cut off roleplay, but what are you hoping to gain from this?
I'm gonna ask if they know where this book is. I'm gonna describe it to them.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. So you take some time doing that, but you retrieve Professor Scant. Valine very reluctantly allows you to take him with you for a while, temporarily, on loan. I need him back.
Yeah, he's coming right back.
Yeah,
he's coming back.
And but you bring Professor Scant to where one of these mummies is, and you have him address and describe the book that you're talking about in Loros. Do you say it's the Book of Keeping?
Yes, I will say that. I was told it's called the Book of Keeping.
So the mummy listens to all of this, then reaches into its robe and pulls out like a spiral notebook, and it flips a couple of pages, and it turns it to face Professor Scant, and it has writing on it, and Professor Scant says, "The card says that volume is not present within our archive."
Well
then I guess Scriven's rise out of luck. So I will take Professor Scant and go back to inform Scriven Scry, who is upon Wilfred, that the aides in the library say the book is not here.
Wait, do you say that to Scriven's Cry?
Yes, I would like to go tell him that they said it's not here, but over in the tower, the bright tower, you can touch an orb upstairs that will tell you that'll find anything for you.
Really?
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Not a lie.
Yeah, it's not a lie. No, we just used it actually. That's how we found the library.
I'm going to ask you to make a deception check anyway, because even though it's not a lie, you are obviously deliberately omitting information.
It's a lie of omission,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, I am so terrible at these.
Okay, so with a natural 20 minus 1, he says, I say, I don't know that I would have trusted one of those old dried up librarians to just tell me a book isn't here. But if I could just go and look it up in a tower and just be led right to it, that would be enormously helpful. Thank you, my boy. Now, where did I leave Kingsport? Start looking around.
Well, as he looks around, Wilfred's just gonna walk to the front door and say, "Yeah, if we find your the one you're looking for, we'll tell him where you're at."
Oh, nonsense. I'm not leaving him behind. He's carrying my cart. I have several other volumes I've already selected there. And he's walking back to where he last saw Kingsport.
I'll amble in that direction.
Okay.
Just quietly.
So I think he is very shortly going to find the cart with no Kingsport.
Mm-hmm. Here's your cart.
He immediately turns a suspicious look to Al.
Yeah, I know. I figured this is going to go this way. That's fine.
So, is Scriven's Cry to understand that one is betrayed?
Scriven's Guy is to understand that the laws and ethics as given to me by my god Bahamut do not permit unwilling slavery of sentient beings, which you have undergone, and I have taken steps to correct.
Deep eye roll. He's like,
Leave the library, go to the tower, find your book.
Kingsport is not a slave. He is an apprentice. He asked me to teach him in the ways of magic, and just because he now decides that he doesn't like the pulling a cart, I had to come up myself. He's a layabout. He's lazy. But he's not a slave.
He has a choice to leave your service, and therefore, if he just no longer wishes to be you call it apprentice, then that is his right, and I will respect and defend that right.
And Rowan,
Arvik walks up to stand next to Ale in this regard.
And Rowan quickly says as he's coming up, but doesn't get too close. He says, well, if he's left, does it matter if you can just go over and use the orb to find anything that you want?
I'm sure you can pull your own cart too.
Yeah, of course I can.
That's probably the best thing to do.
Make an intimidation check, because that seems like it has transitioned from persuasion to intimidation.
Can I roll with advantage because
looming.
I've got?
Yeah, no, you have a couple of you all helping, so yeah, definitely. Whoever you would like to roll with advantage.
Dirty 20.
Yeah. All right. So
Wow.
he looks around at all of you. Just says, "I do believe that all of you have been having a go at me, but just so happens that I am a scholar, not a fighter. And so, if Kingsport would like to glom onto you, good luck with him. I will be going." And then he pulls up like the harness of the cart and he starts lugging it, and it's obviously there's a moment where it's like heavier than he expected, and and he starts trudging the cart towards the entrance.
And I tell him,
See, I was thinking that a cart that a penguin could pull couldn't be that heavy, but
Well,
how big is it? How big is? I mean, he's not a big, huge penguin.
he's just medium. He's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a
All right.
emperor penguin.
Well, and yeah,
Or
I
a
mean,
little
so you're right.
smaller.
It's not a huge cart, but it's also someone who's not used to having to pull his own cart.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As he's going with the cart, I say, when you get outside, I would say discretion would be your better form of valor.
My boy, I have been discerning things since before your great grandfather was born.
Okay, just avoid the giant skull then.
I already knew about the giant skull.
Very good. Ed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just be safe.
All right.
Did we find any clues? Because Mara, that's what Mara was doing, was looking for clues very impatiently this whole time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So certainly there are lots of things that you have found. So I've got all sorts of lore and everything that we will just deal with now that you have dealt with for the moment, Scriven Scry. Although now you have a penguin friend named Kingsport.
Yeah. Once Grumman's guy is well away, yeah, that's what Ali will be doing.
Yeah.
But what
So-
clues did we get?
Well, so I mean, first I want to just briefly say, Scriven Scry, or like Kingsport. Once it's you, I assume you go and tell him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. He was a harsh taskmaster. He promised me a life of enlightenment, but it was just a lot of hard work. So what are
Well-
you guys doing?
We're doing hard work.
A life of danger and hard work.
It's kind of
Yep.
unavoidable at this point.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
well, can I come with you guys?
No. You will die if you come with us.
I mean,
It's not safe.
It's not-
We are basically on a suicide mission.
it's not safe for us right now, but hey, if all goes well, you could definitely work at my inn once we're done with our quest.
Tell
Okay,
you
well, so I guess you're just gonna leave the blind, unarmed penguin to just make his own way here in an ancient alien city. That's fine, I
great.
guess.
No.
Well,
No,
we can
it's
tell
not-
you which direction your boss went if you want to hook
Yeah, are
it
you
up
gonna
with him.
point?
I know what we could do, guys. He can come with us, and if it looks dangerous, we could have him stay out of the danger, and we could even take him back up to the Dryad once we're done.
Actually, how hard would it be for for him to basically ride?
Oh yeah, you
Get
could
him
Right
over
on,
his back.
Wilfred.
He could ride in your pack.
Yeah, no, that would be great. That would be absolutely fantastic. In fact, I love the image so much that I declare that you immediately have a way for him to just sit in your backpack like he's a toddler.
That 50 feet of hemp and rope really does
Yeah,
Pay
make
for
a nice
itself.
harness out of that. Yeah.
Flaps
We
his
just
little fibers.
macrame him in there.
Whee!
It's great.
Yeah. Whee!
So this
is great.
is
It's like I'm
this-
flying.
the second time Wilfred has had a passenger on him this campaign.
Through this campaign, we've acquired so many things that are alive. Or, well, one of them was undead, but it's fine.
Lilla is still our favorite, though.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh man.
that Chewinga is close second though.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So now that you have a new penguin friend, you all find lots of information about Yithrin. So I have a table, and you guys get to roll it a bunch of d20s to learn different bits of Yithrin lore. How about that?
Yay!
Ooh.
That's awesome.
I will
Lauren.
say each of you. You know what? Each of you can roll twice because I'm feeling happy about it right now.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I'll also share another piece of art with you that's just like cityscape.
Do you want us to take
Called
turns
Ancient
doing the
Secrets.
20s?
Yeah.
How
Would
about
that make
just
it easier?
um, it might make it easier to just each of you do both. Roll 2 20s and then I'll do
Yeah,
both
but
for you.
then do Mara, then Ig, and then
Yeah.
Wilfred just go down the row?
Yes, that seems great.
Sure. Okay, so first one. Oh, come on. Do the thing. There. So there's one. Oh, sorry. So the first one was 11 and the second one was 16.
Okay, so in your various searching, one thing that you discover is that many of the city's residents owned strange chimeric pets, with winged hares and venomous baboons being particularly popular.
Okay.
Hares, as in Hare.
Yep, like rabbits.
Okay. So
Venomous.
And then 16.
yes.
You learn that the wizards of Yithrin were on a mission to find relics and ruins of Ostoria, a 40,000-year-old empire of spellcasting giants. And that's
So
tens of thousands of years even before the Netherese Empire.
Okay.
But one of the things that kind of reminds you of is that you remember that the Nothics up in the Caves of Hunger told you that what doomed Yithrin was they found what they called a spindle that made the magic all messed up, and that's what made the city crash.
Okay. You listed two different creatures. You said hares, and what was the other one?
Winged hares and venomous baboons.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Would you like to roll now, Iggy?
I shall.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 2 and a
1. All right. Well. So, one is Ithrin was under the command of a lich named Irialarthus. He was obsessed with finding relics and magic from Faerun's ancient past. So you learned that already, but you do find a book that confirms it. And it speaks that he was a lich, like before.
Yeah.
So you can make, if you like, an Arcana roll to understand what's the difference between a lich and a demi-lich, if you like.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I did not roll well. 8.
Yeah, you're not sure, although I think you probably know enough to know that liches usually have a whole body. They're not just a skull. But then you also learned that Ithrin was governed by a group of 8 arcanists known as the Wizards of the Ebon Star, and their names and faces are immortalized in the city's museum.
Okay.
City's museum sounds interesting.
Yeah.
You can find that.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Okay.
and then so who's next? David.
Wilfred.
Wilfred.
So I did a 1 and 12.
1 and 12. Well, re-roll the 1.
5.
Okay, so 5. The wizards of Yithrin were entertained by a competitive sport called chain lightning. And you find an almanac of past winning teams and losing teams, and a set of the rules for how it is played. And it's obvious to you now that that amphitheater you found is the arena for that.
Yeah.
Light?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could share the rules with you if you want, but it's not important now. It would be only
No.
if you guys actually go to.
We have enough
I mean-
for a team.
Yeah.
If one of the steps in the ritual is to play a game, we'll worry about it.
Typically, it would have teams of 6, but the arena is enchanted in order to provide alternates if you don't have enough.
Yeah, if we get stuck in that arena somehow, then we'll want to need the rules.
So, and then 12 is the members of Yithrin's orchestra were known across the world of Toril as masters of their art.
Interesting.
All right. Jason. Ruin. See what Rowan finds. 5. So we just got 5. So if you reroll the 5. But then 6 is every wizard in the Enclave was obliged to carve their own wand from the nether oak at the heart of the Arboretum.
Huh.
Yeah. And then 8. Ythrin's mages could extend their lives indefinitely by preserving their brains inside jars.
Okay.
That sounds very Lovecraftian to me.
All right. How about Ale?
All right, let's see what we got. A 4 and a 4, so we need to roll one of those over.
Ah!
Okay,
I
4
will
again.
read number 4 twice, and then a third time.
4 and 18.
Okay. 4 is apprentice mages would graduate from the House of the Arcane and join one of the 8 arcane towers, each one dedicated to a different school of magic.
Okay.
And
Kinda
then
neat.
And then 18, there is a magic item called an abracadabras that is a magic box that can create food and drink, among other things.
Well, I already have a jug of alchemy, so I'd love to have that box. It would help me complete the set.
Ah.
Okay, my turn.
Yep.
A 17 and a 1.
So reroll the 1. And then 17 is, in times of trouble, the wizards raised a force field around the Enclave's central spire that only they could pass through.
And 7.
Yeah, and 7 is, Ythrin was held aloft by the magic of an arcane sphere known as a mythallar. The mythallar also had the power to recharge magic items and control the weather.
And that's probably that thing we saw underneath the tower.
Well, and you find a diagram that makes it look like a much bigger, much more complicated version of the little one that you guys saw and built.
That's interesting.
At the Black Cabin. It was clear that the gnome researcher was attempting to make a smaller version of this thing. But Valine is also looking, and so one of the things that she finds is she finds record of what that anvil was in the Tower of Abjuration. It is apparently one of the only ways known to destroy a magical item, and it could do it. It could destroy items as powerful as artifacts.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
That is potent.
And she also learned that the city's elite wore robes of silk that displayed shifting, illusory patterns.
Coats of many colors.
Yeah. But one of the other things that you all find, or rather, hang on. You don't. It's not that you all find it, but just it's not on that table because you just get it for searching. You find a journal written by a sage named Thufius, who was apparently one of the few mages who survived Ythrin's crash. And it describes how the city fell from the sky and the attempts of its doomed survivors to escape. And I can, let's see. And I can I'll read to you in more detail about that.
So basically after it crashed, the people who were still alive, for the most part, left here.
They tried, but here,
Okay.
I'll read. There's a few paragraphs here to read. So, after using the Ythrin Mythallar to lift the enclave of Ythrin into the sky, Irilarthus and his apprentices traveled to the frozen north in search of relics of Astoria, a bygone empire of magic-wielding giants that waged war against the dragons 40,000 years earlier. After many fruitless excavations, they found a large stone spindle bearing strange sigils at the bottom of the sea of moving ice and brought it back to Yithrin for study in the fall of negative 343 DR, the year of chilled marrow. I think that I don't remember what year it's supposed to be in the in this campaign. It's like that was, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It was basically when the city fell. Anyway, during one of their experiments, something went wrong. A flash of power from the spindle caused the Yithrin Mythalar to shut down, which in turn caused the city to fall out of the sky and crash into the ice below. The inhabitants of Yithrin had only a few moments to react as the city fell. Irialarthus conjured a doorway to a magical demiplane and stepped through it just in time. As Yithrin settled into its icy grave, all magic in the city became undone for a brief time, as though something was trying to siphon it all away. The demiplane expelled Irialarthus in that instant, trapping the Lich in Yithrin, and it became a living demiplane. Irialarthus searched the ruins of the city for his spellbook and his phylactery, recovering only the former. He also found several magical servants in stasis that had survived the devastation, as well as a handful of apprentices who had used their spells in ingenious ways to escape death. Some of those inside tried to free Yithrin, but glacial ice blocked all conventional routes of escape, and attempts to leave by magic were thwarted by a troublesome intercessor. The mysterious spindle in Irialarthus' citadel was still putting out magical pulses of energy to hinder spellcasting. By the time this disruption stopped, some 50 years later, fear and madness had warped the minds of the apprentice mages, transforming them into Nothics. Meanwhile, Irialarthus grew increasingly feeble until finally the Lich's skeletal body turned to dust.
Oh.
Aw, yeah.
I said, "Huh," not
okay.
Well,
yeah,
no, I wasn't feeling bad for
Yeah,
the thing. I was like,
sure.
"Huh."
So the
we
last,
find the phylactery? Is that what I'm understanding?
well, he couldn't find the phylactery, and so I'll go ahead and just lean in the detail there that Liches maintain their existence by feeding souls into their phylactery. And if they can't, it doesn't mean they die, but it means they kind of wither away. They sort of lose their physical form. And that's what a demi-lich is like what's left of a lich that isn't able to feed souls into its phylactery for a long time. They are still powerful. But they tend to lose the humanity that they had. So the physicality and humanity that liches are attempting to preserve with their lichdom tends to fade without that.
Right.
But the very last entry in this journal reads, Irialarthus is convinced that aid will come in time from Netheril. I am not so sure.
Well, that's all very enlightening.
Yeah, I wonder if the spindle and the Frostmaiden are connected.
Probably not, but because the Frostmaiden has been doing her shenanigans much more recently.
Yeah.
But it also does not shed any light on those strange inscriptions we found. But I think we've got as much here as we are going to. So I think we should move on to the next tower, over here.
Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to look for a thing that confirmed what year it's supposed to be right now, but I can't find it. Never mind. So, I'm sorry, which way were you going? You want to move
Onto this one.
token?
Yeah.
So you
head.
spent, we'll say you guys spent 3 hours in the library, getting all that information and dealing with Scriven's Scribe.
Well, we rescued somebody from bondage, so Ali considers the time well spent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what a pal you have rescued.
That doesn't matter.
I know.
Freeing someone from
I'm just
involuntary
teasing.
servitude matters, no matter how personally annoying they might be afterwards.
Yeah. Like, you're getting a lot of, I'm hungry. When are we going to bed?
I mean, Wilfred has to handle most of it. Sorry,
In
Wilfred.
our time in there, did we find the piece of the fallen ceiling?
No,
That
that's
was
No,
in
it's
here.
That's not
that's
the
That's
tower.
up there.
Different tower. Different tower.
yeah. So you guys, yeah, you didn't go straight to that building.
Yeah,
So-
our methodical search is taking us to a couple places first.
That's all right. So in any case, as you make your way there, go ahead and roll those percentile dice.
Whose turn is it now?
I'll do it.
It's my turn.
Oh, if you want to do it, go ahead.
48.
48. You do not encounter anything on your way.
I said
All right.
48.
I know. 48.
Okay, just making sure.
I thought
All
you
I
said-
heard back from you was 8. So
No. 48. You do not encounter anything on your way.
great.
So
Somebody else's turn to lose an eye.
This tower is engraved with interlocking circles of stone. Yellow light spills from its topmost window, and the faint sound of brooms brushing on stonework drifts through its broken doors.
Hmm.
Oh,
Interesting. Any sign of if it's one of the towers of one of the arcane towers?
You believe it is. You can make an Arcana check if you want to try to guess which one.
17.
You're pretty sure it's Conjuration.
Huh, conjuration. This one will be fun. Squeeze through the door.
Is it like the other one where we have to head upstairs to get to the action?
Yeah, pretty much. They seem similarly designed in that way. So in here, one of the first things you notice is that it's actually very clean. Like no dust or anything. And then that is answered for you at some point because as you're climbing, you see a broom being swept along, perhaps by an invisible, unseen servant or other similar conjuration. But
So,
yes, but as you are climbing to the topmost chamber of the tower, glowing orbs are set into the walls of this 30-foot diameter circular chamber. 4 giant hands made of shimmering force hover in the center of the room, guarding a tiny ornamental tower perched on a pedestal.
Look up to the ceiling.
So first of all, I have a handout for living Bigby's hands.
I was just thinking Big B. Oh, great. Big B's crushing.
Wow.
How do we get
they
rid
and
of this
Nate's hand
thing?
could wrestle. Hand wrestle.
I think the Bigby hand would win.
Yeah.
Um,
Look like.
Yeah. So, let's see. You look around in this room, and you do not see an inscription in Draconic. However, as previously mentioned, in the center of the room, guarded by these hands, is a tiny ornamental tower perched on a pedestal.
Hmm.
And
Almost like a chess piece.
we're going to go ahead and roll initiative because these hands are going to attack you guys.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
no! Surprise!
Yeah. Ah!
Let me select my. Oh, yeah.
do we need a tracker?
Yeah, let me. You know.
Oh, I
what?
definitely rolled initiative.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just. I'm gonna just kind of put your tokens on the board here, just to serve as
Something
our.
too.
Yeah. Ah.
All those natural 20s on those skill checks are going to come back to haunt us.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
But on the other hand, they got us pretty far and avoided
They were-
problems.
Listen,
So just like getting an F20 initiative, we're not going to curse getting them.
Hey, listen, on telling that dude to go over to that tower, rolling I have a -1 on my.
Yeah, you guys got some really lucky persuasion rolls there. That was kind of amazing. I love that. That you actually persuaded this guy who's like his whole deal is being sneaky and all that. So, yeah. So let's.
I could just
really
imagine
hoping
it's like,
to lift a couple of those books out of there.
Yeah. Now,
Maybe we'll
my
see
guess
again.
is you guys don't see any names on the tracker right now.
I see my own.
Okay.
Yeah, I see Arvix too. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
All right. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm just clearing it all, and I'm gonna add everyone again.
Okay.
And then I need the lean on there.
okay.
So please update it again if you need to. All right. And then
You have the dex advantage over me, Iggy. So you
Okay.
should do like 16.1 or something.
all right. Okay. Well, I've got doubles on everyone again for some reason. Okay. Wow, it's got a bunch of crying out loud.
Fight
What
a
the hell?
living Bigby's hand.
Okay. All right. I don't have Mara on there, unless you got a 0.
Yeah. And I'm missing 2. I see Mara with 0.
Why is there?
Oh,
So
no.
which? Okay.
No,
What the
Mara's
hell?
on there. She they
Yeah,
got
yeah, she got 17.
Okay.
Okay.
She wasn't there a second ago, so just give me a sec. Like, okay. Like it's something's always wonky when we try to do this. I don't know why.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So
Okay, got mine entered.
Okay.
I think everybody's on there now.
yeah. Dear Roll20, make this thing make more sense. All right. So, as you are all in there, you're looking around for these inscriptions, and as you do so, Mara, you realize these hands that were just kind of floating around the central tower seem to be moving towards your direction with a menacing demeanor. As far as you can tell, it's like in a fist. it's that fist in the shaking Arthur fist.
Dispel magic?
Yeah. Let's see. I like that does. Let me just see if it says anything. It seems like that ought to maybe work, but
That's gonna be my first
no. I get it. I'm just trying to see if it says anything specific about that. It does not. But I'm going to go ahead and say, make your spellcasting modifier check.
Okay. So a spellcasting modifier check.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a +3. Okay, so that was 14 plus 3, so 17.
Okay, yeah, one of them disappears.
Probably only temporarily suppressed, but good enough.
Well, the spell magic works, sort of, I think.
At least sometimes.
Yep. All right.
And that's my entire thing.
Yeah, Iggy.
Right.
We can remember for the visual of this all too that you guys are all in very cramped, tight quarters at the top of this tower. There's not a lot of room to maneuver. These things are pretty much right over your heads.
Okay, well, let me bounce those at the ceiling then. Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Both
So the
against
first-
one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
16,
whichever one is nearest.
16 does not hit. It seems to just sort of glance off of it.
Okay, let me try one more time. And that's a 14, so that definitely won't hit either.
Nope.
And they're tough.
Mm-hmm. All right. Ale.
Okay, so are these things? Is any of these things within sword range, or are they still
Yes.
floating above?
Yes. Don't worry about it so much. We're doing theater.
Right, I
of
was
the
just
mind.
trying, just trying to get it.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so so I will.
This is a tiny room. There's barely enough for you to move 5 feet at all, and they are right over your heads.
Well, then,
Yeah.
then I will do what I do best and try to stab at it and see how that goes.
Slashy, slashy.
Slashy, slashy.
22 does
Slashy,
hit.
slash. Okay. 11 slashing damage.
All right.
Does it look like it actually took the damage? How would I
Yes.
tell?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you cut it.
Slice
Yeah.
a chunk off of it.
Okay,
It,
just
it,
one.
it
Yeah.
seems to even be bleeding spectral stuff.
Okay, so let's
Yeah.
try that again.
Mm-hmm. 26 will also
Critical hit, kids.
Woo!
Woo. Okay, so I
Is
also
that
want.
that's a 19. Do you get critical on a 19?
Oh, it's no. Oh, you're right. It's a 19, not 20.
Yeah.
You're right. So it's not a critical hit. So it's only 27. Okay, so I will spend a spell slot to add some
Radiant damage to
radiant
that.
damage to it. Thank you.
Okay.
So
It is
First
not
up-
undead, but it does. It's not immune to radiant or anything like that either.
so 6 slashing plus 4 radiant.
Okay. Yeah. So you've hacked at it pretty good and then burned it too, and it doesn't enjoy that at all. It's like kind of shakes in the hand like this. Ow.
Okay. So here's a question. I don't know how paladin and other things interact. Does me using that spell slot for a radiant damage count as casting a spell?
I mean, yes.
Okay. Then I will not do what I was thinking of doing on my with my bonus action. So now that's the end of my turn.
Yep. All right. Valine is gonna magic missile.
Good old magic missile.
Yeah, I think she's gonna go ahead and attack the same one that you just hit, Ale. And does 10 force damage to it.
Beat up the big floating hands.
Yep. That one's looking, bloodied, if you could call it that. All right, Rowan.
Okay, as a bonus action, I will cast Hunter's Mark.
On which one?
The one that they've been attacking.
Okay.
And I will use my laser rifle
All right.
to try and hit this thing. 22.
That hits.
So that would be 15 points of radiant damage, 6
Nice.
points of Colossus Slayer, and then
You vaporize it.
oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that one is destroyed. It spasms and then sort of just burns away, leaving nothing behind.
Slightly disturbing. So take my second shot at one of the remaining two.
All
22.
right, yeah, you're rolling well.
Good damage. All right. 12 points of radiant damage.
Nice. No Colossus Slayer on that one. It hadn't been hit.
Yeah, it had been hit, and I haven't moved. I don't have a bonus action to move.
All right. There's not really much room anyway.
Oh no, I'm at Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
I used the bonus action to cast it this turn.
Gotcha. Okay. So it is the hand's turn now. One of them that just got shot by Rowan is going to attack him. And it's going to, let's see. It's just going to It's going to force fist. That's the name of the move. It gets a natural 1, so it misses. The other one, I think, is going to
go after the giant in the room.
No, it's gonna grab at Aule, who hurt the other one.
Yeah, I'm a threat.
Actually, I take it back. It's gonna grab at Mara because Mara just dispelled one.
Oh, sorry, Mara.
Yeah. So it's making a grappling check. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. A 3 is not gonna do it, and so basically this giant hand is just like grabbed you around the arm and shoulders, and so you are currently grappled by it, and it's trying to crush you. You don't take any damage right now, but on your turn you will. Okay, Wilfred.
Okay. Going after the one that has Mara, would that make it difficult to attack, or?
Well, what you can do is you can try to pull it off of her, and you will essentially make an I guess a strength check, right? A strength check to compete against its DC to pull it off of her. But if you want to just like attack it, it's not harder to hit, but like you're risking hurting her too.
So would it be a basic strength or an athletics?
Just strength.
Okay.
Man, if you pull it off of her, you can arm wrestle this giant hand.
Well, then I am absolutely going to try and pull this thing off of her.
I believe it.
For a 25.
Yes, you successfully pull, you grab one of its fingers and sort of pull it back painfully, and then it lets Mara go.
Then I want to, can that be just one of my attacks?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to punch it.
Nice. Go ahead and roll your attack.
For 23.
That hits.
And that's 7 damage.
Nice. Kapow.
Wow, some of us don't do that damage with swords.
The imagery is just so great that he's literally.
I would like that instead of punching it, he pulled the finger back, and as it pulled it free, he like cracked his finger.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're a mobster.
And then you see the hand fly up against the wall, and you know how that move, well, people will pop their dislocated shoulder back in? It does that with its finger. And then it kind of spasms out like, ah!
And when he did it, he made the hand release Mara. He made sure it was like fairly low to the ground.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. All right. So that was Wilfred's turn. Arvik.
I've been debating back and forth between a dispel and an attack. I think I'm going to go with a dispel. I'm going to try and dispel the one that's not injured.
Well, both of them are injured a little bit.
Oh, both of them are injured now?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, forget that. I will use a. You know what? I'm going to see whether they're vulnerable to ice. I'm going to use a ray of frost on the one that Wilfred just damaged.
Yeah. All right.
Critical.
I was going to say roll your attack. A critical will hit for sure.
So 16 plus 12 is 28 points of damage.
Wow.
No, sorry. I also have elemental affinity, 31 points of damage.
Nice. Yeah. It just suddenly you see the ice not only freezing over the outside of it, but like penetrating into its spectral substance, and it's just like, you can see it trying to break the ice free, and that hurt it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and let me just check. Yeah, I haven't used any sorcery points, so yeah. That's it.
Okay. So Mara, you're up again.
I will say thank you, Wilfred, and then I will cast Sacred Flame at the one that grabbed me.
Gotcha. All right, it will make a dexterity saving throw. Gets a 19.
Okay, then nothing happens to it.
Yeah. All right, Iggy.
Okay, let's try Eldritch Blast again.
Okay, which one?
Uh,
There's the more hurt one that Arvik just froze, and then the less hurt one that had that attacked Rowan last time.
Take out the one that's got the fewest hit points.
okay, I'll see what I can do about the one that's the more hurt.
Okay.
All right, that was a natural.
Wow. All right. Yeah. There you go. Go ahead and roll the damage, but probably the first one's going to be enough.
So it'll be 13 plus 7, so
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
20 points of damage.
Your Eldritch Blast just pierces it through the palm, and it sort of holds there. And there's a moment where you can see through the hole, and then it just sort of, and then it sort of disintegrates into spectral dust.
Okay, and then the second beam at the last one.
Yep.
Did not get as good on that one. That
No.
one's a 13.
Yeah, that one misses, unfortunately. It ducks out of the way. All right,
When you
out.
hit, no hit well.
Yeah, Ale.
It
There's only
ducks
one
out.
left.
It ducks out of the way, but I go marching over it with my sword and try to slash at it.
Mm-hmm.
But a 13 will miss.
Nope.
If I get a second try.
It slashes
at
at it, and it just spreads its fingers, and your sword goes in between.
A little bit of
21.
mumble.
21,
Yeah,
however.
that'll hit.
Okay, so I will spend another spell slot on this thing.
Okay.
8. So that's 6 slashing plus 2 radiant damage
Okay.
on it.
Great. Yeah,
That's my turn.
you cut it that time. All right. It's Valine's turn. She's gonna magic missile again. Because why shouldn't she?
Yeah.
That's gonna be 11. 11 force damage. Pew 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 pew.
Pew pew.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Rowan.
Alrighty, I will move as bonus action. I'll move my hunter's mark to the remaining hand, and I will take 2 shots at it with my laser rifle. 14 does not hit.
Nope.
Second shot. There we go. 22.
22 will definitely hit.
So it'd be 10 points of radiant damage, 4 for Colossus Slayer, and then D6 for Hunter's Mark. Oh, so that's 15 points of damage.
Okay. It is very damaged, but not destroyed. And now it is its turn. And it's going to attack you again. This time it gets a 21 to hit.
Shield will not help me. That's fine.
And it does 31 force damage.
Maybe
As it
that's so
basically
fine.
just like mashes you against the wall.
Ooh.
But that's its turn. So, Wilfred, it's your turn.
Okay, well,
Rowan just got flattened against the wall like a cartoon.
Wilfred is, he's gonna go ahead and just swing his warhammer at it.
All right.
Natural 1.
Oh,
First
no.
I just suddenly flashed on the idea of it slipping out of your hand and just imagining in this tiny room, your giant-sized warhammer is just flying. Whoa! No, but no, it almost happens, and there's a moment that flashes through your eyes of how bad that would be, but then you manage to keep it.
The
Second
unworthy
hit.
Wilfred.
For a 13. Wow.
Yeah, it,
I'm gonna
as you start to swing, the first one you sort of just you end up colliding only with some of its more uh, permeable spectral stuff. It doesn't have solidity to it. Ethereal is the word I was wanted. And then but then it dodges out of the way for the second time.
I'm going to go ahead and use my action surge.
Okay. You want the finishing move?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
How about 26?
That'll do it.
For 14 damage.
Go ahead and tell us how you finish it off.
So after the first two attacks, I missed because I was worried about hitting Rowan. Third attack, I just hand and the head of the hammer just shaves the hand right off of Rowan.
Nice.
So I see you've got some of the Frost Giant's rage in you.
All right. You have defeated all of the living Bigby's hands. The one that was just dispelled may be back, but it's not here now.
Mara immediately goes over and heals, does cure wounds at 2nd level on Rowan.
That nearly took me to half.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Do I need to do more? Are you okay? I should do more. I will do.
You're fine. It's okay.
I'll give him some.
Actually, guys, it's okay. I will use Second Wind.
He's tougher than he looks.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm okay. I'm okay for now, guys. It's fine.
You're sure? You're sure you're okay?
Yes, it's okay.
I think our ranger has picked up some new skills.
Listen, Arvik's not the only one keeping an eye on you guys.
Wilfred recognizes the move, I think, and it's like, yeah, good move.
Yeah, I haven't done anything sorcery yet. I was asking about the space in the room. I was going to try something, but not yet. So no one knows yet that I've done anything. I have level sorcerer yet.
Well, except that you're using your spell slots a lot more freely.
So is there anything interesting in the room now that we've gotten rid of the
Well, there's that miniature tower.
Yeah.
Now we
That's
get
pretty much it, though.
Okay, so let's go take a look at the mini tower.
Okay.
I haven't touched anything questionable yet.
You saying it's your turn?
So yeah,
Normal size stuff is difficult enough for me to see.
right.
This?
So
What is this?
so this thing is
Tower
just
for
floating
ants?
this thing is just floating in the middle of this room at the top of the tower.
It's on a little pillar.
Oh, is
The
it's
hands
setting
were
there?
floating. The hands were floating.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll go with Arvik to give him a hand, but I'm definitely not.
I don't need any more hands. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've had enough hands.
How about an eye?
As you touch the tower, one of your hands is immediately teleported. No.
That would be nasty.
terrible?
No, yeah, I will look over the tower at first. It's a miniature of one of the ones we've seen around the okay.
Or is it a miniature of this tower?
It is this tower.
Okay.
Huh. Okay. Anyone have a spare detect magic to see what kind of magic this might be?
Valine says it is the Conjuration Tower.
Oh, is that this is the one this? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can cast detect magic, but I'm pretty sure that the Conjuration Tower will probably be using Conjuration magic.
All right, I will pick up the tower. The miniature tower.
You find that it is stuck to the pedestal, but when you touch it, a glowing doorway appears in the room It is 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and 5 feet away from the pedestal. And you can't see through it, but it is clearly a doorway to some sort of a little like pocket.
Okay, I will go through the door.
All right. Hang on, I have a handout for you.
I'll tag along as well, just in case.
Yeah. So this handout is called Pinch, Pillage, and Plunder.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So what you where is this? I keep scrolling past it. There we go. So as you step through, and it's probably is only Arvik first. Does anyone else immediately follow?
Yeah, I'm right behind him.
Okay. So as you step through the doorway, those of you who do, the fabric of reality warps and bends around you as you arrive in a demiplane, a cluttered den 40 feet long and 20 feet wide. Occupying this extra-dimensional den are 3 night hags named Auntie... Well, you guys don't know their names yet, but you see 3 night hags looking over at you eagerly. They say... One of them says, welcome, visitors. It's been a while. It's a shame that my Scriven-Scribe voice was so similar to this, because it's better as an old hag voice. The other one has a harsher voice like this.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you use that voice anymore, because Arvik is going to nope right back out the door.
Okay. No, I think as you start to back out, one of them says,
"Sorry to have bothered you."
No. Now that you're here, I think it's important that you stay and talk at least a little while. If you want to leave safely, we ask only a pittance.
Oh dear.
All right. What are you asking?
So who is in the room?
Right now it's just me and Iggy.
Okay.
I think shortly after there's Wilfred tries to go through, and I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh my, he's a big one.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's like a 10-foot tall.
No, I mean it's just this is a bigger room that you entered into.
Night hags are fairly tall.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of them looks back at you, Arvik, and just says, "Are there any more coming?" I mean, because we have a whole speech, and we prefer to only have to give it once.
So
I could go back and ask them if anybody else is coming in.
No.
When he walks through, does the door doesn't close when he walks through?
No, the doorway is still there, but you can't see through it. It's just a glowing portal on your end.
I'll go through.
Okay.
All right.
Ara's not going in there.
Okay.
Right, I'm protecting the cleric.
All right, so Mara and Ale stay behind. All right, so the rest of them, everyone else is in there, and they're just talking to you. It's like, so I am Auntie Pinch, and I am Auntie Pillage, and I am Auntie Plunder, and we are open for business. If you are interested in what we have to offer, we are happy to tell you what we know, but all we ask now that you have visited us is one memory plucked from your heads.
We get to choose what memory that is, or do you choose?
We choose, but don't worry, we're not going to make you forget your name or anything. No, that's too much paperwork.
And this is what does these memories buy?
Well, your safety for one. Also, we have been here in Yithrin for a while. I'm sure that you have questions about it. Perhaps we could fill you in or give you some news that would be useful to you. Perhaps you're here for the clue. Yeah, they always want the clue.
Yeah, we want the clue.
Yeah, we want the clue.
So is it a bargain then?
I look at the others. No.
If we get the clue, is it one memory from one of us or one memory from all of us?
One from each.
Just for the clue?
And then while you're talking, one of them actually goes and peeks out through the doorway and then comes back and says, "And for the other two also."
Oh. Well,
I'm a little alarmed to see a night hag peek out of a doorway, so I just stand back and put my hand on my sword, like, what?
You think
I would call into the doorway, guys.
Are you okay?
Can they hear us?
I think if you're calling from other side of the door, it's that reverse echo sort of effect, like from Poltergeist.
Okay. Then I'm charging in.
Okay.
Well, I'm coming too.
Because as far as I know, they're in a stew pot right now.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Now it's a party.
Paladin makes it a party.
Yeah,
It's just as well that everyone is here. After all, you would all use the knowledge. It's only fair that everyone shares the prize.
What price? And
They want a memory.
This is
A
exactly
memory?
why I wanted everyone to come in, because now we have to do the whole speech again.
It's fine.
I'm worried about this. I have some memories I do not want to lose.
Yes, they have offered to give us the clue for I'm assuming for the force force field, but the entire group will have to sacrifice a memory of their choosing.
A memory.
And even though you didn't come in, they were still
Still
subject to.
I just saw this creature's head pop out, and I thought the worst had happened to you.
When you say they're still subject to the price, one of them, anti-pillage, looks to you and just says, "It's not like we're stuck in here. This is just where we hang out. We can go wherever we want."
Oh no, that was not what I meant to imply at all.
So we each pay a memory for the clue. Well then.
And we could answer other questions too. The clue is just one of the things we assumed you would want.
What type of memories would you want to take?
Nothing that would prevent you from living your life. Nothing concrete. We like strong emotions.
Arvik shudders.
All right. I know what I woke him up.
No, they choose.
They choose. Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Well, this could be bad. This could be very bad. All right.
Mara writes something on her arm and then covers it with her sleeve.
Going for the memento approach.
Right. Wilfred will grab a book, tear a piece of paper, and hand it to you. Say, here, you can use this.
No, this is perfect.
Ellie's not smart enough to even think of that.
Okay, I am ready.
We all ready?
If the group is doing it, then I'm going along. But
we need the clue.
It's like, excellent. Auntie Plunder will perform the procedure, but don't worry, she's got a surgeon's touch and a scalpel. And then, sure enough, the third night hag pops up from behind something, holding like an enormous rusty cleaver. And then, when you all just kind of react to that, she's just, "Kidding! Kidding. It's magic. Tosses it.
It embeds in the wall like that far in.
Yeah.
Really,
Well, no, like it falls behind something and you hear like a squelch sound. Like God only knows whatever that was. Um, but she basically comes along behind each of you and puts her long, gnarled, bony, clawed fingers carefully on around your head. And so basically, what I'm going to ask each of you as players to do is tell me what memory is taken. And what I would say the criteria here are they, as promised, they're not going to take anything, they're not going to make you not know someone that you loved. They're not going to make you forget something like where you lived or something like that. It's a moment in your life where you felt strong emotions. Could be positive emotions, could be negative emotions. But I would like each of you to suggest what the memory is that the hags take.
Arvik, um, I have two options, and I'm going to leave it up to you.
Okay.
The 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 moment that he met um, uh, 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 Keothi,
Yeah.
or the moment that that he was told he had to leave his tribe.
Okay.
Both of those, I think, are uh, uh, um, up there as far
Yeah.
as
Yeah, I think certainly powerful negative emotions can be good, but like I think with a hag, given the choice between a memory you really like and a memory you don't, I mean, they're going to take the memory you like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's the one.
Okay.
You get to experience it one last time before it fades away. And I mean,
Okay.
you know Keothi, you know you met her, you know you love her, but you can't quite remember how it was that you met the first time.
Right. Okay. That's mine.
All right. Ale.
I know Wilfred's.
Well, let's do Ale next.
Okay.
I was I'm kind of conflicted. One of which would kind of resolve something which I think is just never going to actually resolve in another way. So that might be cheating in some way. So, but I also want to do something that's similar to Arvik. So, oh, so I think Ale's memory is going to be the last memory he has of his village as he was leaving on his journey, saying goodbye to his parents. That strong emotion of saying goodbye, thinking he's going to come back, is completely gone, and basically severing him from from that whole moment.
That's a good one.
Kind of
Now, like
untethering him.
it feels a bit like you just snuck out without saying anything to anyone.
Yeah. So I'm basically severing all the good emotions out of that.
All right. What about Rowan?
Oh, there's a couple moments. There's a couple moments that are strong emotions, but I don't know if they would want those. I mean, because one would be his fear of dying when he was attacked by the assassins, because it nearly killed me. But then there's also when Rowan lost himself and was consumed by chaos. It was a literally soul-wrenching fear of that madness that has lingered for a while with him.
I think they like that one a lot, actually. I think fear of death is powerful but commonplace, relatively speaking. But that one is kind of like, ooh, what is that one? That's a new flavor.
So yeah, so which means and with that, would that also take away the memory of that two-headed god of evil and chaos? Because that was
so basically it's like it was a bad dream. You know, like if you have a nightmare, sometimes you'll wake up and even right away you won't necessarily remember what the nightmare was, but you still have that racing heart. You still have, so you know something made you feel bad.
Okay,
But
so I
and I think you guys they don't take you guys destroying the statue afterwards, so you might remember the broad details of it, but you certainly don't remember it in that context. All you know is like, oh, okay, I guess that was the statue that made me feel weird or bad somehow.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like basically I recognize the image of that statue, but I don't understand why it has my heart racing or my.
Well, it's even less than that because it's not that you don't remember what happened because you kind of thought about it afterwards. It's just you really can't connect to the actual experience of it anymore. All you really remember is afterwards saying that statue is really evil. It represents a demon lord. We got to destroy it. And like you know that you did those things, but you don't anymore feel why it was so urgent. You just understand it intellectually.
Okay.
All right, Wilfred.
Okay. Well, the two options that I came up with were uh, the final argument that basically uh, resulted in Wilfred, final argument with Wilfred's father that basically set him up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but that's not a negative one. That's a negative one, so it's a more boring flavor. The positive one is that time when the Chewinga said goodbye to him and gave him the charm to basically allow him to cast magic. And that's like that, that was the beginning of
I think
his
that's the one
achievement.
they take. Yeah.
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 And oh, it's sad. Say goodbye to that memory. Sad.
Yeah. So like once again, I mean, you kind of remember that it happened because you still remember thinking about it, but now it just feels like you remember a story someone told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iggy?
I think the one that they take would be Iggy's last glimpse of his home.
Oh.
Before he was thrust into the in between. So because it's full of desperation and fear and unimaginable sorrow and pain.
If I may offer a slight embellishment, you tell me how you feel about this. If you don't like it, we'll just go with what you said. What if they take the memory of why you had to leave? And now you know that you had to leave somehow, but you don't remember why it was or what happened.
I think that I don't really think that works for Iggy's character just because why they left is kind of intrinsic to
okay, that's fine.
Their plot. So if if he doesn't have the reason why they were thrown out and why they were cast into the in between, then they don't know basically anything, and it basically kind of undermines the character.
That's fine. Yeah. So no, it was just a thought. So yeah, that's
yeah.
So what it is the last memory you had of home before that. Mm-hmm. All right. Great.
There's a whole lot of Iggy we do not know.
Yeah.
And then what about Mara?
So for Mara, it would either be when she was cast out from the Shadowfell, or the first time that she saw color.
Ooh. I like that one. The first time you saw color.
Okay.
All right. right. What was the color? Like, what was the thing that you noticed first?
It was the middle of summer, and we were assigned to kill a wizard who was getting too big for his breeches, and the garden of this wizard had many moonflowers in it, and they were a vibrant purple.
Nice. So, as Auntie Plunder performs her technique on each of you, and you find that you have been stripped of these important memories. Um, she holds up like a filthy looking sort of like velvet pouch and just sort of pulls the drawstring tight, nods at the others, and as soon as that happens, um, they just reach up and there's just like they have just like a filthy blanket draped over something, and they just pull the blanket down, and now you can see where the inscription is.
Oh,
Yeah. Um, so the inscription says, "Second, summon a flame in the palm of your hand."
oh, that can be done.
Okay,
So
that's easy enough anyway for half of us.
All right. I think our business is concluded. We shall leave now.
It has been a pleasure. Yeah.
Yes,
And
let's
we'll
get
leave.
out of here.
All right. Yeah, you are able to leave back through the portal and return into the tower. And when all of you have left, the doorway closes again.
Well, it wasn't as unpleasant as losing an eye, but not something I would want to repeat. But we have the second clue.
Lillian says, kind of coincidentally convenient that the first one we got was first, and then the second one we got was second.
It's almost as though fate is playing a part in all of this.
Although, just as a brief aside, literally that's not the case. You guys could get them in any order. It's just that's literally how it happened.
It's coincidence.
Yeah.
I
mean, obviously the first tower you come to is the one that has the first clue, and it's like but you could have gone the other way around, for example. But anyway, I think it's funny.
All right. So there is this big warehouse-looking building.
Yep.
That I think is our next
Shopping
destination.
mall. No, but do go ahead and roll percentile dice once again.
It's my turn this time. 96.
Ooh.
Yep.
Could be interesting.
Wasn't it 97 again?
I think this time what happens is as you emerge out from the bottom of this divination, or excuse me, the conjuration tower, once again, you see this floating skull and the phalanx of Nothics, but this time they are just right outside the tower, like waiting for you to come out.
Oh, boo.
Wow.
So this could
Hi.
Well, Fritz feeling very foolish.
So one of the Nothics, hang on, let's see. One of the Nothics calls out to you and just says, in Loras, and then Professor Scant is translating for you, and Professor Scant translates as, he is asking what business we have in the city.
We are collecting lore.
Then the Nothic speaks again, and Professor Scant says, "And where are you from?"
Me personally, I'm from the mountains nearby. The rest of us are from other places.
Roll initiative.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, so here's a question. It is 10:12.
Yeah, I don't think we want to do this today.
So that is perhaps a fun place to
Cliffhanger.
is that as soon as Arvik answers any answer other than we're a Netherese expedition come to help you, the
Right.
light, the pinpoints of light in those hollow skull eyes flare up, and you realize that was the wrong answer. And
Oh, boy.
But at least we've got some sort of cover. 'Cause back into the tower we should go.
yeah, maybe if you're really nice, the night hags will give you sanctuary.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay another
bloody
memory.
likely.
Well,
And
you
we'll-
know, if you are literally running for your life from a demi-lich, it's probably going to cost you more than one memory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we've got to fight a demi-lich anyway. So
Right.
this is practice.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Also,
hey, we might get lucky and this could be the demi-lich we need to kill.
Doubt
We're
it.
not that lucky.
No,
Yeah,
it 100% is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, never mind. Oh, crap.
Wait,
But I
what?
will also tell. No, this is them. This is him. This is Uriel Arthas.
I mean, what are the chances of finding a city with 2 demi-liches?
Yeah.
Well, it's a big city.
I was gonna say, because my question would be, do liches like to hang out in groups? Because I don't think they're like the night hags.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is definitely Uriel Arthas, the demi-lich who rules over the city.
We'll
However,
destroy him.
Yeah, we're definitely doing this.
I guess
Well,
next
no,
time,
like-
friends, we kick on Demi-Lich.
or
It's
well,
a good thing I've only used 2 spells.
yeah, you can see how that goes. All right. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes next time. When we return for more adventure on so many levels, Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Oh no.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's the blowing of grave dust.
It might be our own.
Yep.
Little gravestone.
Mhm, mhm.